Test, 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 taste, taste, taste. Hello, what's going on, y'all? Light became unplugged. It's cracking, baby. Happy Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. How's it going? Hello. Happy Taco Tuesday. This is true. All right, sorry, I had to open a pack of Yokimon cards. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. This is a political debate stream, and if you want to debate, if you support Trump, hop in the box and tell me why you like Trump. Why is your brain not good? Why is your brain not good? Why doesn't it think good? How's it going, y'all? Chat, tap the screen. Let's get this party started. Let's freaking rage. I started coaching tennis again. Ooh. What in the hell is this name?
Fuck all these niggers. All these fucking niggers. Fuck them all. Big black haired niggers. Can't stand them motherfucking niggers.
Is there anything else you like about Trump?
Nah, I can't stand that fucking nigger either.
Sure.
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you over 18?
I am. I'm 21.
Nice. What do you like about Trump?
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of drinks, if you understand my what I'm picking up. I just like that he's open with homosexuality because he kisses. He kisses Benjamin Netanyahu on the lips. It's just, it means a lot to me. It just because they kiss each other. Do you know what catch and print is?
It's still better love story than Twilight, right?
I hope Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump have babies.
You have a good night, Kenny.
I won't.
You're all doing great. Keep wasting your time talking about politics. The First Amendment, like the most important one, they hate it, dude. Criticizing your own government is like the best freedom of, like, the best right that you have. Hello?
Excuse me? Can you repeat that again?
Said criticizing your own government is one of the best freedoms we have.
Oh, 100%.
What do you like about Trump?
He's the best, A lot of liberals say they lost a lot of rights, but I don't think that's true. I really like his immigration policy, and I think it's a really strong policy.
I think it's horrible.
Can you explain?
What permanent changes has he made?
Well, immigration, illegal crossings are all-time low compared to when Biden was in charge.
That's not permanent, right? That's not permanent. What permanent changes has he made?
It's a permanent effect. It's permanent. Is it not permanent right now?
What law did that?
What law? The law's already been there. He's just enforcing it.
Biden enforced the law the same way.
Not true. Why did he?
It's absolutely true.
Okay, well, if you want to get into that debate, why did Biden order Texas to remove all the borders from the southern border? Why
You
did
poor sweet spirit. All
why
right,
did they order them to take
can
out
you?
the?
I'll tell you. I'll
Go
tell
ahead.
you. This is called political theater. So in the
It's not
Constitution,
political theater.
absolutely. In the Constitution, it literally just says that the border is under the purview of the federal government. That's like something that like is not an if and or maybe
But
or a
who's
gray
taking care of that
area.
border?
And also Abbott. I live in Texas, by the way. Abbott has lawyers. This is not a mystery. They
You
all
live in
know
Texas?
this. Yes.
You have a very
And he knew that this was going to be shot down by the administration, by anybody in place, because it is constitutionally wrong. The Supreme Court
That's not
shut it down,
constitutionally
right? The Supreme Court did that.
liberal.
No, a 6-3 Supreme Court.
Very liberal Supreme Court.
They're all 6 of them are conservative, 3 of
Look,
which
buddy,
appointed
you
by
say you're from
Trump.
Texas, and you got this mindset.
Yeah, I'm not brainwashed.
Brainwashed? You sound pretty brainwashed. Matter of fact, they say steers and queers come from Texas. You don't look like a steer, boy. That kind of narrows it down to one thing, don't it?
Hey man, are y'all tired of being called homophobic and stuff?
Homophobic. I'm not scared of gay people.
That just means you have an aversion to, not scared.
No, what's a phobia?
An aversion.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Phobia is something that you're scared of. Why would I be scared of gay people? It makes no sense.
All right. Do you want me to help you out with words, man? I'll Google it for you.
Go ahead, Google it. I want you to Google it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Take your time, sweet cheeks.
All right. This is MAGA is such an anti-intellectual movement, dude. Here we go. The dislike or prejudice against gay people. Nothing about fear, right?
I said phobia, and I didn't say homophobia. I said define phobia.
Okay, but I called you homophobic, right?
Yeah.
Are you homophobic or not under this?
I don't like. I never said I don't like gay people.
Why would you bring up
Why
somebody's
would you assume that
sexuality?
why
like
would
if
you
I were
assume
to
that
bring up
I
if I were to bring up the color of your shirt like arbitrarily just now, you'd be like, that's weird. Why do you care what color shirt I wear? Right?
Do you not like black shirts?
I
Look, I don't think you have the
I use that
brain
as
cells to have a
example. That's not my
conversation.
actual opinion. But you
I don't
see
think
how
you have the
arbitrary someone's
capacity.
sexuality is and how you brought it up and that would make you kind of homophobic?
So look, I didn't call you gay. I just said either steers and queers come from Texas,
And
don't
you
look like
inferred
steers, it
and
kinda narrows it down.
insinuated.
I didn't no. I
What-
insinuated, but doesn't mean a fact.
Got it. So you don't even want to stand on 10 toes.
Are you admitting that you're a homosexual? It's fine.
What if I
There's
am?
nothing wrong.
What if I am?
Then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. This is just like me bringing up, I bet you're straight.
I am straight.
Okay. So
See how
you
easy that
see,
was?
you see how important that was? Nobody
See how
cares.
you see how easy that was?
Yeah, nobody cares, right?
Okay,
But
you're making
only
this a
you
bigger-
care. Only
you're
you
making this
care.
a bigger- look,
Somebody's
hey,
sexuality is so
see how
important to
you're-
you.
See how you're pivoting from the word phobia? When I literally said Google phobia. And
This
you literally went to
this
homophobia.
started with homophobia, and then
No,
you
no,
said
no.
phobia.
I said I'm not scared of gay people. Okay, let's go back to the topic. 'Cause it looks like you're trying to pivot.
Sure.
and you're not
Phobia is an
smart enough.
intense, irrational, persistent fear of a specific object, situation, or
See, it's a
activity that
fear.
poses
I'm
little
not
to no
scared of
actual.
gay people,
It's a type
so-
of anxiety disorder causing panic avoidant behaviors or physical symptoms like
You see that?
common
It's a
examples include fear
I'm
of
not
spiders.
afraid of gay people.
But homophobia is not a fear-based phobia.
Yes, it is. It's literally in the
A
definition.
dislike or prejudice against gay people. That's what it
Look,
is.
it's not a prejudice. That's a different definition.
If you're
What's the
sitting
second
there
definition?
and the first obstacle we have to get past is my sexuality, in this conversation, it absolutely is.
Look, there's nothing wrong with your sexuality.
Uh
You
huh.
can do
I'm not
whatever you
saying there
want.
is anything
I'm
good,
just
wrong.
saying, most people from Texas are steers and queers. You don't look like a steer.
Got
Let's
it.
continue, though. Let's continue with the topic.
I've watched Full Metal Jacket too. It's real funny.
Well,
Got
it's
it.
not from Full Metal Jacket.
What's it from?
It's from the other movie, Platoon, which I doubt you saw that.
No.
Matter of fact, I bet you haven't seen the first one before Full Metal Jacket. But anyways,
No.
enough about this. Let's continue. What does this have to do with Trump?
I think
I don't
Trump's
think-
immigration policy is literally it's just political theater, just like any other fascist or far right or movements on Earth. They just basically get
a fascist.
because he
If
hits all 14 finish.
He hasn't taken any rights from Americans. What rights have you lost under him as an
Uh,
American citizen? Can you name me one, please?
Yeah, the women in Texas, if they're raped, they are basically they have a $10,000 bounty on their head if they try to get an abortion.
That's a federal law, okay? Federal law
No,
that
that's
they
just
voted
that's
on.
the state
Actually,
of
no, it's not even
Texas.
federal law. It's not
That's
even.
the state
Hold
of
on, hold on, hold on.
Texas.
Scratch that. It's not
It's
even
the state of
federal law.
Texas.
It's your state law.
It was a
Your
protection
state.
that Trump took away from us.
No, Trump took away,
Yes.
overturned Roe v. Wade,
And
or
they
whatever
had
the fuck
trigger
that shit
laws,
was.
and you
No,
guys have
well, hear
now
me out.
oppressed
Well,
the
hear me out,
women
though.
with Christian nationalism.
Not really. Your people voted
Not
for it. A majority of
really?
people in Texas voted for it.
No, nobody got to vote for it, you dum-dum.
Yes, they did.
Nobody, not a single person. There's
Your
no ballot
elected
initiative for
officials.
this. There's no
They
ballot
say
initiative
women
for
vote
this.
the most.
There's no
Women
ballot
voted for this
initiative
in
for
your
this.
state.
There's no ballot initiative for this.
You're not even. Look, your brain is melting, and not even from the hat, buddy. Look,
Nice.
you're literally just pivoting. You're not facing the facts.
What rights have people lost? There's one.
Yeah,
Trump
American
has
citizen. What rights
Trump
have
Trump
American
is
citizens? Yes.
attacking the free speech of news channels, of law firms, of many other colleges.
You're
He
not-
is
you're just
he is
closing them
absolutely
facts.
against it. We've lost the right of free trade. We've lost the right of free travel. I'm now
Alright,
paying
you know.
$9,000 a year for Trump's excursion in the Middle East. Each individual
I don't
taxpayer.
believe
That's
you
what
know what
your
you're talking about.
that's what your liability would be.
It's not a liability. Look, Mr. Dark Pickle. Can I call you Mr. Dark Pickle?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I feel like you don't know what you're talking about. I feel like you're very immature for this conversation. I don't know, man. Like, I don't think you have the brain cells to have a debate. Not even a debate, a conversation. You can't hold a conversation for more than, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes before you start spazzing out. At this moment, I feel like you're really immature. You lack this debating skills. And I just feel like you should just better yourself, okay?
Thanks,
Champ?
man. Thanks. Do you want to
You
address
okay, champ?
anything I said?
Yeah, your opinions are invalid and you're wrong, and I win.
Damn.
So, bye-bye, and you have a great night. And, don't be offended you're not a steer, okay? Just don't be so mad that you're
man.
not a steer.
Hey, man, thanks for teaching us all something.
Thank you for teaching us that you're not smart enough for this debate.
You got
Thank you.
me.
You have a great night.
Dang, he got community guidelined anyway. Brooks, thank you for the galaxy. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, Liam's coming in for his spanking too. I love it, dude. Line up. Line on up. Come on, Liam. We got pow pows for everybody. Chat, give me some likes on the screen. We're almost at 10K. And if you enjoy these debates, this is my alt account. If you just tuned in, you're not so sure that this is, you're following me, this is an alt account. My main account is gone forever. Forever. Just like Liam's common sense. Tell Liam I say hi. He's really got it. Yeah, it is gone. It is gone. And by the way, I was right. Somebody just texted me. That is from Full Metal Jacket, that quote. Yeah, Zilla. I don't know. I'd like to think they care about me like that, but they don't. All right, Liam. You tired of winning yet?
No, man. Today was a good day for the United States.
Yeah? Liam, can you tell me one thing we got out of this?
Civilian casualties in Iran that were being put on bridges, they were going to be unalived, yeah.
So we were threatening genocide, and our intentions were to save civilians?
I would have to say that those were empty threats, dude.
Oh, God. Of course you would. So Trump is a taco. Trump chicken's out.
I hope hope that he's a talk on that.
So his empty threats yielded Iran the best deal they could ever ask for.
My administration is in power. Please let me speak. You lost the election. That's the way this works.
Go ahead.
Why are you laughing?
Because I
Okay.
want to hear your pathetic version of what's going on.
Hey, did you hear that 18th Street, one of their members out of California, just targeted another ICE officer, Mr. Hernandez, and was unalived by ICE agents? Look that up.
Someone who was unalived by ICE agents?
Yeah, an alleged member of the 18th Street gang out of California. They're out of Los Angeles. There's 100,000 members.
Uh-huh.
Just targeted.
Is this what your news feed was today?
No, I just saw it literally like 2 minutes ago.
All right. Do you want to talk about the real news?
I mean, this is real news. I mean, not a whole lot happened today. We saw an agreement. We saw some type of an agreement. Hopefully that they open up straight.
Like before Trump fucked with them? The conditions are wild. The conditions are absolutely wild. Trump has lost so much. He's playing fucking 1D chess, dude. He just got destroyed. He got destroyed. We have to pay $2 million per ship that passes through the strait. We have to allow them to proliferate more nukes. We have to allow them to continue trading with no sanctions, even on partnering countries. We gave them the world just to go back to where it was before Trump fucked up.
How much oil do we actually get from this region? How much does the United States get?
Very little. But why are you saying? Why does that matter?
Who gets like 90% of their oil from through the strait?
China.
Okay. Guess who's?
Hey, Liam.
Wait a minute. I'm on fire. Guess who Donald Trump just made friends with, Taco Bell?
Who?
Guess what?
Who?
China.
Trump made friends with China now?
China.
All right.
China.
I'm going to help you understand why it doesn't matter.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm going to help you understand why it doesn't matter. All right, Liam, I have to mute you now. All right. So this is why it doesn't matter that we don't get any oil from the Strait of Hormuz. And you can see Trump was very upset when they closed the Strait of Hormuz. Why would he be upset when they closed the strait that we don't even get oil from? It's because it crashed the whole world economy, and the whole world's economy affects us. And even if it doesn't affect just the plain old economy, the price of energy skyrockets. It skyrockets because gas is a world traded commodity. It's based on futures. So if the whole world is dry and doesn't have oil, and we're the only ones, it's still expensive. And our domestic oil companies will sell directly to someone else because they'll get 7 times more money for it. So then our gas gets more expensive because the whole market's price goes up. Liam?
Pickles, you made some really good points. Thank you for opening this conversation up. Okay. But if you would have done a little bit more research, you would go, why would Donald Trump want to not be so involved with other countries and their manufacturing? Why would he want these tariffs? Why would he do this?
That wouldn't fix any of this.
Why would he want to?
It wouldn't fix any of this.
Daddy's speaking. The people that won the election are speaking.
Tell me how the tariffs would have fixed this.
Sit down in your Democratic chair.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Tell me.
So, tariffs would get us out of these stupid trade deals. We don't need any more China. We don't need any more China furniture because the number one product that comes from China is shitty furniture. Okay, you're being educated right now, so just listen up, little fella. Okay, we don't need shitty Chinese furniture. Okay, okay, we don't need fraudulent Gibson guitars coming from China. These are not things that the American people need. Oh, I'm lying, huh? No, I'm not. This is all factual, chat. Read it and
this is such a weird tangent. Nobody cares about your take on furniture and stuff.
I'm just getting warmed up.
I know. This is Liam. You do
Dude, I dog walked Dean in front of 25,000 people.
I don't think you dog walked anyone, Liam. I think you
Oh
are
my
delusional
gosh.
enough to think that.
It was literally the biggest beatdown you've ever seen.
Holy cow,
You know what? I
man.
wanted to say something about that. This pisses me off. And you know what, Pickles? I like you. I remember when you started your platform, you got the TikTok, whole background. You're writing things out. What do they call it? The TikTok. Damn, what's the name for it? Come on, I don't use it.
You're getting better with your words, huh, Liam?
No, the studio. There, TikTok studio. So you got the studio down. You got all this stuff, all these screensavers. You got your talking points. And you put in your time. Like you paid for your own trip to the Unfuck America tour. Didn't even get invited. Showed up there, and watched all the heroes partake. And now you see like uneducated people have been spoon-fed all their answers, who have met Kamala Harris and been invited to the White House, like Mr. Withers. And you're just back here collecting pennies.
How did we get here from the economy?
Mr. Pickles.
Liam, how did we get here from tariffs?
Dude, I'm trying to uplift you right now. Give me a break, dude. Listen, you're my hero. You're my leftist hero because you've been pioneering it on your own over here. You haven't been paid by the DNC, okay? Or daddy or mommy. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, and you're getting those coins. People are throwing like pennies in the wishing well for you. But the wish is not coming true, bro. You want to know why?
Why?
Want to know why?
How did we get here, Liam? Can you focus ever?
Look at you. You know it's all.
Can you focus ever?
Yeah, really.
You really do. You started with tariffs, Chinese furniture, and then you started attacking my character and my career. You didn't finish one thought.
Attacked your character.
You haven't finished one thought.
How did I attack your character? Don't be a snowflake.
You started talking about how my involvement in the Unfuck America tour was this or that. Can we talk about how this is good for us?
Wait a minute. No, again, you lied. I didn't attack your character. I was building you up, platforming you. So I didn't attack your character, dude. Wait a minute.
Okay. Either way, you're talking about my character, and now.
Oh, yeah, I say.
And now,
you have good character on the left. You're paying for your own way.
Liam,
but people are.
Focus up. Do I have to give you blinders? Focus up. We're going to talk about why Trump and doing this with tariffs and this whole thing was 4D chess with China, even though we're probably still not going to recover from the fuel prices for like 3 years.
Well, I don't think that the global economy really affects the United States.
Fucking
to an extreme.
How dumb are you?
Wait,
oh, wow,
tell you why.
dude.
I believe that it does. I think that there is a global economy for sure that affects the United States through trade, okay, through the value of people's currency, a country's currency, all this stuff, okay, stock market trading, all this BS, whatever. But the point here is Trump was trying to get us out of that through
out
tariffs,
of what? Talk to me about Iran.
I'm trying to make a point here. Okay?
None of this happening, by the way.
You don't believe that the tariffs were trying to get us out of global deals and make the United States more of an independent. Oh my gosh,
that hasn't happened. No, that hasn't happened.
Okay. No, you're saying it doesn't happen.
It hasn't happened.
This was shot down. I mean, he did find loopholes, but they literally shot it down. The Supreme Court.
If it was such a brilliant idea, why wouldn't he just pass it through Congress?
Brilliant, dude.
Why doesn't he pass through Congress? Like a non-dictator.
Well, because he doesn't have enough votes.
Yeah, if it was so popular, people would just do this, but it's not.
We're supposed to be bipartisan in this country, dude, and we're not.
The only time we are not bipartisan is when Trump is involved. That's it.
Oh no, we're bipartisan when the Middle East targets New York City, and then we go, ring around the rosy. We both jump in and go, yeah, it's wartime. Let's go. But then when the war pops off, we go, who was the leader of the country at that point? The Republicans started a war. Dude, stop it, bro.
Yes, the Republicans always do start the wars. They always fuck up the economy.
Such a snowflake.
They always fuck up the economy. They can't govern. They can't pass things through Congress because the ideas that Trump has are so widely unpopular. no one would fall for it. They're mostly for him and his rich friends. Nobody would look at their constituents with a straight face and be like, that's right, we're going to do tariffs. And I can't explain why. I'm going to lie about it. I'm going to talk about trade deficits. And then I'm going to talk about manufacturing at home. And when all of these things not come true, in fact, the opposite come true, my explanation will just be that we're trying to stifle China and that this is good. And I'm willing to pay more taxes and fuck up the whole world's economy for this weird, vague plan I'm not even sure about yet. That's like already been struck down and changed 70 times. Like, you guys are having a hell of a go at it. It's so embarrassing.
You're just pocket watching, the Trump family, the Trump franchise, and the whole thing. Okay, it's really sad that you guys on the left do this, because you cannot tell me one ex-president that did not get richer every term that they served. Okay,
I know you want to be intentionally vague, but we
wait
can.
a minute.
No. You can add up all of those presidents in history, all of them together, multiply them by 6, and it still doesn't come up what Trump's made. So for you to say the same thing about all these presidents, you're lying, dude. That's your cope.
So wait, you're saying that they all do it, but Trump just does it better? Is that what
He's the most blatantly, openly corrupt. Blatantly, openly corrupt, and you're co-signing it. And when you're sitting,
was he a businessman prior to his election?
Yeah, and so was Jimmy Carter, right?
Sure. We're talking about Trump right now. Okay, so he
So-
was a very successful.
So just
businessman
all you have to do is
built-
call yourself a
that built
businessman.
A lot of New York City who had a lot of
Oh man, through cons,
black friends as well, right?
Well,
These
through
racist
conning
people.
people, yeah.
Huh?
Through conning people, yeah. He had a lot of failed business ventures in New York
Conning. You know how many
Yes.
people that man has employed in his life?
and ripped off, not
Do you have
paid.
any idea? Do you know how many?
You know how many people he hasn't paid?
I'm sure that there's some bad
There's a ton.
seeds in-
There's a ton. Trump Tower didn't pay them. Didn't pay him.
So Pickles, you understand that in business, not everyone wins in business, right?
Trump is notoriously that evil businessman, dude.
Donald Trump has given shit tons of money to New York, like to landmarks such as parks, recreational areas. Yes, dude, stop it.
No,
Stop
in
it,
fact, he
Pickles.
got a tax waiver for his tower, and
I'm not
he
talking about the tower.
he absolutely has played the long game and fucked the entire like middle class and lower class this time around
I'm talking about
for
the
his own
ice-
well-being.
I'm talking about the ice skating rink in the middle of like Central.
That didn't do
Park.
anything for me,
That
dude.
was fucking, dude. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Now you're just being childish.
You're
I'm
childish.
bringing the receipt. You're bringing the emotion.
Okay, you can take all of the things he's done nice and just look at one incident in his presidency and you can stifle all of that. He has done multiple like multi-trillion-dollar oopsies in the economy. Multi-trillion. So people like literally died, I'm sure, in different corners of the earth and different corners of the United States, and will continue to die because of his selfish, disgusting grabs for his friends, all of his rich friends, cutting all of our Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security so they can get tax breaks. Like America First was about bombing people.
Like the Clintons?
What do you mean, like the Clintons? Did they cut Social Security?
No, you said all of his rich friends. I said like the Clintons.
Yeah,
Like
if Clinton was in
Clinton
office,
Foundation?
if Clinton was in office, he would have balanced the budget again, and she would have balanced the budget again. She would have raised taxes on rich people.
Hey, you know what? We always talked about investigate the Clinton Foundation. Investigate the Clinton Foundation. This is way before Trump was even elected. Nobody really wanted to do that, right?
I'm all for it.
And now it turns out that the Epsteins were there at the wedding. Wow. Look
Yeah.
at you, Pickles.
Wow, that's so damning. Arrest them. Nobody's going to get arrested. No one will ever be arrested, Liam. Nobody will ever get arrested.
Keep your party accountable, Pickles, and you'll never
Really?
arrest.
Really?
Because it'll make your party look bad.
Okay, so why doesn't Trump do it? Why doesn't Trump arrest Clintons?
Trump is the only one that opened up the Epstein files.
He hasn't done anything about it.
Democrats had a chance
Kicking
to do it.
and screaming.
He opened up thousands and thousands of files.
Liam, what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene?
She's an absolute nut job.
No way. All right, but what happened between her?
Crazy aunt that can't keep her mouth shut.
What happened between her and Trump?
Trump told her to pack her bag. She was
Why?
done
Why?
because she was too needy. For one thing, he said, "I don't have time to be constantly answering
I'm
your
gonna
phone."
I'm gonna help you with this.
You
If you
asked
don't
me a
want to be
question.
honest, if you don't want to be honest,
I'm
I'm gonna help
being
you with
honest.
this.
Out of his
Marjorie
own
Taylor
mouth.
Greene
Hang
is
on.
no longer part of the Trump MAGA movement because he called her into his office and he tried to coerce her into taking her name off of the petition that was forcing him to release the Epstein files.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you show me that evidence? Can you show me that?
Yeah.
No, I want you to show me like the conversation that went down.
So you're just gonna say Marjorie Taylor Greene made that up and her name wasn't on that list?
1,000%. Yes.
That's a good cope. I like that.
Show me. Show
cope.
me. Hey, she must have had her cell phone on record. Play the clip.
It must have just been something else. It must have just
Play
been
the
like
clip, Pickles.
it must have just been made up. It must
You're
have
not
just
even
been
a- you're-
she
you're
was
not even a
diehard
class-
Trumper and she and Trump ordered pizza and they disagreed about the toppings. That's why they had a falling out. That's probably more likely.
You
it
know,
was
you're
something
not
more
even
mild.
Like, listen, you're not even a Clausen's crunchy pickle, dude. You're like a soft, like old worn out pickle, okay? With no substance. I want some crunch in my life. Give me some charisma.
Didn't you
okay?
just finish calling me a child?
You acting like a child. Obviously, you're 61, okay? These TikTok streets have been tough on you, Pickles. Come on. These little liberals have been making all the money and you've been getting the peanuts and scraps, okay? And I feel bad about it. You think I'm trolling, but
Are
I
you
do feel
you're
bad.
just trying to infantilize me, Liam, and it's not gonna
No,
work.
I just saw you like sitting on
If
your
I ever
own-
saw you in real life, Liam, I'd give you a head
Come
pat.
on.
And
I
give you a
saw
little head
sitting
pat,
on the-
give you a little hug, say, look
I
at
saw
you, big guy.
sitting on the back of the cheapest flight to Texas A&M that you could even find. You probably went to those websites that you were like had to speak like some language. You're like, who the hell is this selling tickets right now? And you paid for it. Okay, you went there with your cat. Okay, you paid it all. They didn't invite you to the front of the line. You did your best. I'm here for you, man. I know that you tried, but they don't accept you, Pickles.
Liam, do you ever listen to your own debates and take notes and
Hey, I just
draw?
love that your chat is majorly triggered by me. I
ever-
love the chat.
Do you ever try to figure out how your conversations go? Like, you ever try to draw a diagram and be like, this is really good. I was talking about
don't
China,
really
I was talking
listen.
about tariffs, and then I was talking about pickles, and I was talking about the Unfuck America tour, and then I made fun of his seat for the plane. We're really on track, Liam. I could just see the inner workings of your brain are just,
So a really good thought out debate with receipts and bouncing back and forth on one topic is really cool. It's kind of cool for the chat, but there's another strategy with charisma and personality and talking and bouncing around and keeping the
do
chat.
you
Look
think
at
you're
it.
charismatic?
Wait a minute, stop. Give me a second. Yes, I do. Yeah, I know I
You're
Yeah.
not charismatic,
I
Liam.
got fucking invited to TP USA with Charlie Kirk, dude, because who I am. You didn't even fucking get invited to Unfuck America tour. Stop it, Pickles.
Why are you
Stop.
measuring yourself against me
Stop.
constantly? Are you
Because-
insecure?
Listen, because you're talking trash.
Are you insecure,
Not
Liam?
working. Huh? You've
Are you
kicked me out of
insecure?
your live for like 8 months because everybody says Liam is bad. I get told that I'm a 3PO lies. I get told that I'm divorced from my wife. I love that the left lies about me. I love it. It's great.
I don't think
Continue.
anybody needs to lie about you. Your
Look at
shortcomings,
Haley and- Look at Haley. and
your
Sam, dude.
shortcomings need no adornment, Liam. You're a pretty bad person.
Why is that?
Because you're sitting here memeing after Trump just brought us through the worst geopolitical affair in recent United States history, and it went so badly, and your cope is coming up here and making fun of me. You don't want to address it. You never will. You're not listening to any of the liberals talk about this either, and you never will. You're not listening now.
Dude, listen, that's absolutely not true. Because if you actually listen to Kamala Harris, you listen to Joe Biden, you listen to Barack Obama talk about Iran, okay, and what a threat they are to the United States, okay,
Mhm.
verbalizing their literally hate for the United States people, okay, and our government. It's
Mhm.
not cool, bro. We
You're
don't
right.
take.
You're
Wait-
pretending
wait a
like the
minute.
only
Hold
tool
on,
we
hold
have is a
on,
giant
hold on.
hammer. You pretending like the only tool, the only option we have for anybody's opinion on Iran is just to go like attack them and spend $80 billion and have 13 soldiers killed. That's the best idea. That's the only option. And Trump just had his hands tied. He just couldn't help it. He just couldn't do anything else. It's a no-brainer. When anybody else talks about being against Iran, that's what they were talking about. They were talking about having to go arbitrarily just go fuck up all of the world's economy and try to get their way and kick and scream on Twitter and then make genocidal threats and still come out on the bottom.
Watch this, chat. Afghanistan pullout. Okay,
Trump's fault.
Biden unalived 13 American soldiers.
Mhm.
Okay, we are literally overthrowing a tyrannical T group.
Are we?
Okay, the IRGC.
When did we do that?
Let me finish.
When did we do that? Didn't we just give them everything?
You said you wanted a debate. Please stop over.
You just told me a lie. You're
Right.
building a foundation of this conversation on an already false statement. Nobody's
Okay,
changed
no,
the regime.
no.
And what has changed in Iran?
What has changed?
Yeah.
An actual that place turned into a combat zone because of Israel and
We're
the
talking
United
about
States
before and
what we're
after. Talking about
attacking, okay?
before and after.
You're just dodging. Let me finish my
You
point.
are. You're obfuscating. Be direct, Liam.
God. Can I finish?
Be direct.
You love to jump in there and just be emotional to throw me off track, don't you?
No,
That's a good strategy.
focus up,
Pickles.
bub. Be direct. What has changed in Iran?
What has changed? Literally, the whole world is looking at them and what they're doing and how they're targeting. Okay,
So everybody's looking at them now, and that's it.
Why are they shooting? Why are they shooting off?
Focus up.
Why are they shooting off their missiles? It's not like they're just attacking the United States.
Focus
and
up, Liam.
Israel.
What's better now?
Tell me who else they're targeting.
Focus
You
up,
even know
Liam.
going
What's
on, bro?
changed?
Do you even know? You don't even know what's going on, do you?
Liam, are you going to answer the whole point of this conversation? What's changed? What did we get out of this?
It's crazy. You've lost your way, bro. You really have.
You can't answer that question?
What has changed?
Yeah, what have we gotten out of this?
What have we gotten out of it? What are we supposed to get out of it, Pickles?
I fucking have no idea. Why were we there in the first place? I have no idea.
What's the best thing you've said probably your whole entire TikTok
Holy shit.
life right there?
So you don't know either, right?
Idea.
So you don't know either?
Yeah, I do.
What were you doing?
Okay. We have United States military intel, okay, on what's going on with their nuclear arms, with their ballistic missiles, the whole entire scheme, dude. You and I, as TikTok keyboard warriors, really do not know what's going on. Okay.
Bub.
Can we agree to that just a little bit? Just a little bit.
You're telling me the most transparent administration ever is not telling us what's going on?
Gosh, dude, you just can't have a faith debate, dude. You can't.
All right. So do you want to tell me again why we were there, or is this just all a game where you guys like to watch liberals freak out because we read news?
Why did I tell you that we were there?
Why?
I've already said it twice.
You haven't said anything. You've started 2 sentences. You haven't finished them.
Okay, you want me to say that we're there for their nuclear arms that they were building.
And what was the deal? What was the deal?
Okay, I know you want me to go there. I know.
Show me the facts. Shows the facts from multiple sources. Also maggots, that's not true. They're so stupid that it hurts everyone and they do not care. Rolling
Agreed.
eyes face emoji, unamused face emoji, woman face palming emoji, woman face palming emoji, woman face palming.
Thank you
emoji,
so much for the
woman
$10.
face
I love you.
palming Emoji.
Liam, focus up, okay? What are we getting out of this?
I thought that was a $10 kick because you're trying to make like $10, being on live for 4 hours today.
Nice. Liam, do you want to talk about Iran again?
Yeah, I'll come back in 10
I think this is the
minutes.
7th time we've had to redirect us. Okay, you're leaving? All right. Dude, I'm going to start a tally. Should we start a tally for how many times Liam pivots? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
What's up, bud? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Cool. What do you like about Trump?
I like his response to COVID vaccines, the
Let's talk
immigration
about that.
policies.
Let's talk to the COVID response.
Okay.
What part did you like?
Okay. I liked Operation Warp Speed and how fast the vaccines were mandated, and I didn't like the mask mandate that Biden promoted.
You said mask mandate or mass?
Mask.
Okay.
I didn't like wearing masks.
Did
everywhere that I
you
went.
did you guys ever come out of the other end of that with any good like science proving your point here?
One more time?
Do you have any good scientific studies showing how masks aren't effective?
I didn't like promoting them on the kids.
That's not what I asked.
And personal what? Sorry,
That's not what I
you'll have to
asked.
forgive me. This is the first time that I've ever popped into any one of your lives.
You're good. I'm asking. So I'm 100%. I don't mean this to be super rude, but every single time I talk about this topic, the hardest thing for MAGA to do is to focus on the science. So if we can not talk about Fauci or the CDC or anything, we can look at other governments, we can look at other countries, we can just look at our science. Did you guys ever find the science that said mask or the vaccine was bad?
I think the COVID vaccine deaths were very much inflated in everything that they were doing. And
I think you kind of got off topic again. Do you have any science? Do you have any like science, like peer-reviewed science? Not politicians, not Trump, not anybody. Do you have science on this? Because we have science. Every single person and scientist in the world agrees with us on this. So I would just ask you, all right, if we want to push politics out of this, let's look at the science to see who's right. Y'all are wrong. Every single bit of it, you're wrong.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the mask mandate and how it was effective?
Yes. So the size of a I'll draw this for you. The size of a particle or the virus was measured in, I believe, nanometers or micrometers. And the mask, an N95 mask, by the way, would have a perforation to where the size that these particles could fit through was smaller. So I believe the micrometers was for the mask is 0.1, and the size of a piece of COVID on a water droplet, by the way, because it only spreads on water, it's not airborne. It was 0.3.
I knew that.
0.3.
Yeah.
So it could not fit through a 0.1 size hole, therefore masks work.
Do you believe everybody had an effective mask that did that for them?
So even if it wasn't an N95 mask, the idea behind it dates back to, as far as you can see, like even the Spanish flu. When you sneeze or whatever, you are sneezing at roughly 14 feet. And when you put on a mask, or if it's just a fucking sock or whatever, the new distance is on average 6 feet. So that's why the whole social distancing and 6 feet thing was a rule. And this objectively helps stop the spread. There are entire countries who mask their children that even after pandemics, they had worse pandemics than before than COVID. They for decades have been wearing masks and never stopped. And they have lower flu rates. They have lower death rates from the flu. They have lower death rates from all of this. They successfully eradicated COVID much faster than us, especially the countries that did mandated vaccines. So New Zealand, for instance, had a 94% vaccination rate. They were one of the very first countries in the world to eradicate all of COVID. They were getting down to, I think it was like 3 or 4 cases a day, and while we were still having a 9/11 every day. And there's still no proof that has come out that has shown the inflated numbers of the COVID deaths. We have nothing but material from the CDC and from other organizations that show the excess deaths that cannot be explained. And people say it's the flu, but the flu only kills roughly 30 to 50,000 people per year, and we have 1.2 million deaths from COVID. So none of that makes sense. This is all things that that led to a 15% increase in Republicans dying from COVID. That's another study I can show you if you want it.
No, that's okay. I just have personal experiences and situations that I know that for one of my friends got killed in a car accident, and he ended up having the COVID vaccine. And what was clarified in his death is that he died from COVID vaccine, or he didn't die from the COVID vaccine. He died from COVID-19. That's just one example. I'm not saying that's mass. I'm not saying that was spread everywhere, but that's one example that I like to point to whenever it comes to this topic that I know.
Have you ever seen a death certificate?
Yes, sir.
So his death certificate, what were the two factors on it?
He got killed by so one of the ones was that he got killed. He got hit by a drunk driver. So there was a hit from that, and then the what's it called? The airbag hit him on the side of the head, which concussed him. And then by the time first responders got there, they could not resuscitate him fast enough, and they declared it due to the COVID vaccine that his immune system wasn't working fast enough.
Not vaccine, but you mean COVID?
Yes, sorry, I'm misspeaking.
So there, when you look at a death certificate, this is there's two sections. So cause of death, your friends would have been something like trauma or whatever,
Right,
or
yes, sir.
breathing, and then there's going to be comorbidities, and this could be a few things, and then that's where it would have listed COVID. So in 100% of those cases, there's no reason why a hospital or a doctor would have said it's COVID. They don't get extra money for this. They don't get anything. These are all independent people like you and me. There's no reason. There's no motive for them to do that. I think that this was just something that people took, and through misinformation and a misunderstanding, this is what people thought was happening, but it's not. There's always an extra section. So if someone died from diabetes, a contributing factor would have been COVID. So they would have put it here, but the ultimate cause of death would have been right here.
Sorry, I was not paying attention to what you were writing. I was trying to listen to what you were saying.
It's okay.
I hear you, and I know, but just from I don't want to get into it because a lot of your chat is saying that I'm lying in this situation. I'm not. And then whenever I went to the funeral and they said that his cause of death, if he didn't have that, and he had showed known symptoms before that, he was a truck driver. And whenever it came down to it, that was just they said that if he didn't have it, he would have survived.
If he didn't have COVID?
Yes, sir.
You think there's no validity to that? Like you said, his breathing, resuscitating, when your oxygen levels are really low because you have COVID, that's why we're putting people on respirators. I mean, that could absolutely be a contributing factor.
Do I believe that it was? That's a tough one. I've struggled with that for probably about 4 years now.
It doesn't sound like a
I don't know.
reason to vote or have any sort of just like opinion on COVID. Like COVID is absolutely deadly, and there were excess deaths. This is what you would have to explain away. Even if all of these deaths were like made up or reassigned causes of death, you would have to explain away the excess deaths, and that is from here. Synergies control. And here's the graph. You see that big mountain on top of the normal mountain? Those are COVID deaths. So you'd have to make all of that go away.
All of that top graph right there.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just COVID-19 deaths.
Those are just excess deaths. You don't have to say they're COVID or not. Those are extra deaths, and they just so happen to take place during the pandemic and nowhere else.
Yeah. Nowhere else in the world? Is that what you said?
No, I'm just saying nowhere else in time before and after.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to
That's okay.
protrude myself as the wrong person. Just from experience, that's what I liked. Do I believe masks worked 100%? No, because I don't believe that in schools it was found significant difference between masked and unmasked children in districts.
Do you have a study for that?
Do I have a study for that? Can I look one up, or am I allowed to, or no?
You can, but I would just I would hope that your opinions would start with seeing science rather than just like listening to some politicians. Like, if none of us at all listened to any politicians, the people who took the vaccine still would have been right. Same thing with masking. In any pandemic, I just can't imagine anybody justifying not wearing a mask. I think that's wild.
Yeah, personally, I never got any of the vaccines, and I never experienced the COVID-19 itself. Did I wear a mask every time that I went to work? Absolutely, because I was forced to. Did I enjoy it? No, but
Like,
that's all right. And I did it for everybody else, not for myself.
well, I mean, that's the point. It's public health. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think that the right capitalized on this, and they have blood on their hands, and they have a bunch of people afraid and still dying because of their disgusting rhetoric. I have a stepfather. He's trying to get a kidney transplant. He'll never get it because he was talked into thinking that the COVID vaccines were all bad, all evil. He doesn't even know. If I talked to him and asked him to articulate his opinion, he wouldn't be able to tell me. But he's scared because of all the politicians espousing this bullshit. He's gonna die.
Yeah, I saw a lot of negative reactions from a lot of different people whenever it came to mask mandates. Did I support all of that? Absolutely not. And I thought the government, I thought the mass majority of people just should and shouldn't try to fight it. I don't think people should have tried to gone into businesses while recording and just to say that they weren't forced to wear a mask. I didn't agree with that. I thought people should have just done it and seen the benefits of what was going on and tried to just, because I do believe that it was a pandemic, and that people probably should have done a lot more than what they did as far as isolation whenever it comes to that stuff. However, I believe being a coach, being what I do for a living, forcing those kids to stay inside for as long as they were, I think it has a very negative impact on their well-being, on their physical and mental health.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you there, but they also just could have died
They could have just died. What do you mean?
from COVID.
Yeah.
Or they could have. It's actually very likely those kids would survive, but the fact is they were bringing it home, so they would just be carriers of, maybe even asymptomatic carriers of the virus, and brought it home to grandma or mom and killed them. And that absolutely did happen, and that absolutely happened more in Republican households to the tune of 15%.
15%, just because they weren't. Just because of what?
Because the right was superstitious about masks in medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personally, I bought a mask off of Amazon and wore that one because I thought it was cooler than the medical mask that I was given at work or anything else. But
I think in any pandemic, people have to make concessions. In a public health crisis, people have to make concessions, and I think Republicans capitalized and used this to make any type of concession you would have to make for public health seem fascist or overreach. Like, I think it's so silly. I think it was it's actually what made me political. I didn't even know what Republicans or Democrats were until I saw people trying to take ivermectin, and I got really involved and I got really deep into this. And there's absolutely not a single person who's MAGA who's brought up any sort of science in this regard, in this topic. Nobody's brought any of it. They cry about Fauci. They cry about, the COVID coming from a wet market or from China and being man-made. I think it's literally irrelevant because the next time it happens, whether it's man-made or, organic or from a wet market, I want to know if I made the right decision to take the medicine they gave us. And I did. I made the right decision.
can I ask if did you get sick the next 2 weeks after or no?
No, an mRNA vaccine doesn't usually do that.
No. My brother took it. He was forced to take it. I was never forced to take it, so I never did. And he got really sick for the next couple of days afterwards, probably the next 3 days afterwards, which was one of the reasons that I didn't take it, was because I didn't want to feel that pain that he felt during that time. But
So
I don't know if that was from just the vaccine or from anything else.
could have been coincidence.
Yeah, could have been a coincidence. Could have been a coincidence. I will what's the word? Concede to that point. Yeah.
So it like wasn't like a live or dead virus. The mRNA is something a little different. There were those types. I believe Johnson and Johnson wasn't an mRNA vaccine, but even afterwards, they came out with vaccines that were traditional. Still, nobody wanted anything to do with them on the right. They didn't care about that. I think they cared more about the I don't know, the contrarian position of whatever the government says, don't do any of it. Don't trust anybody. And I think it's created a lot of broken broken families, but broken brains.
Am I wrong for not taking the vaccine? Sorry.
I would say
I'm
say
20.
that it
At
was
the time I was 20, and I was going to college to play baseball, and so I felt like it wasn't going to help me in that time.
You would be right
Personally.
if you're talking about you as an individual in your 20s.
Yeah.
You might be one of those people that like was in the green or in the gray area where like you didn't really need it. Your chances of myocarditis were still greater even if you didn't take it. But the thing is, you're still being a spreader. So like you go home, you pass it to your family. If you were vaccinated, what it does is it lowers the pathogen load. So instead of giving your grandma like the full blown virus that would have just fucking knocked her on her ass or killed her, it would have been something less.
Right, but at the time I was in college, and being in baseball, I had to take a COVID test just to see if I had it every single day before I went into any building that we had. Before I got to go to baseball practice, I had to take a test to see if I had it or not.
By the
I never
way,
did. I never.
when we talk about mandates, no, not a single person was mandated to take the vaccine unless you're in the military. That's already a thing
Right.
because they already have to take
Well,
17 vaccines. But not a single person was forced to do anything outside of a COVID test if they didn't want to. And they still threw a fit about that.
Can I disagree with that point? Because I know people personally who were truck drivers that had to, in order to pick up their load, in order to pick up what they needed to carry across state lines or across anywhere, they had to have the vaccine shot and they had to have that vaccine card in order to pick up their load, in order to make money for what they were doing.
That sounds like a private company thing, right?
Is it a private company thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I think that personally right? No, I don't think you should.
I think that's a
force
fantastic
somebody-
thing. I think that if you're a private company and you read the science and you have your HR or your law department look at it and they say, well, yeah, here's our liability. If we allow super spreader events in our facility, we might have to pay millions to people who die because we showed negligence. Or spreading it across state lines is wild. I'm super glad that trunk companies did that.
Yeah, personally, I don't think that was beneficial. Mainly because I believe that those people are in their car. They're not conversing with anybody.
You're
face to
touching
face.
paperwork. You're handing each other paperwork. And I used
That's
to work
true.
in a warehouse, and you've got 20 people loading a truck. Each one of them touch a box, and then another 20 people unload it. You're handing paperwork back and forth. You could have brought a virus from one state to another that had absolutely no trace of that virus. You just brought it to one person, and they spread it to 600,000 people. Like it's just math. And if you're a pathologist or virologist or an immunologist, you'd probably be able to explain this better. But there's no world in which the Republicans made the right decision, and you could back it with science. And I think it was a really bad turning point. And in history, they'll look back and see that COVID was the thing that swung the election the wrong way and was taken advantage of by Trump. I think Trump ran a lot of campaigning on showing the outcomes of COVID on the economy and blaming it directly on Biden somehow. And I've interviewed thousands of people at this point. None of them have been able to articulate how Biden was at fault for any of this. It's nothing.
Oh, sorry. Apologize.
You're good. D, by the way, thank you so much for the $5 possible kick fund. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about? You
Do I
said
have anything else? Yeah.
did you say the border?
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Okay.
I promise you, this is also my first time being in any one of your lives, and also debating anybody on TikTok, mainly because I just heard how that last guy was speaking to you, and I only heard the last probably 3 minutes of it before I requested to join. And I don't know. I thought it would be fun to hop in here.
Yeah. So my opinion on the border is that the pandemic, once again, you can see this on a satellite. People moved. Economies fell. Economies did really bad. And when poverty happens, crime happens, and gang violence happens, and all that stuff, people started moving, especially Trump and his meddling in the affairs of Venezuela before he left office. A lot of people came to our border because of that, actually. And Trump turned around on his way out and gave Venezuela temporary protective status to lure them all here, by the way, on his way out 4 hours before he left office. And then he pointed at Biden and
office. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you.
You're good. Then he pointed at Biden and said, look how many people are coming to the border. It's so, but Biden has an open border. And you look at the numbers, I can show them to you. Biden was more stringent on the border, even with a higher volume. So if you tried to come to the border, you had a 50% chance of getting kicked right back out. During Trump, it was 47. I think that Trump did his best to make a spectacle of it, confuse people about it, exaggerate it, say there was 30 million, 20 million, 10 million people that came across. It's nowhere even close. No,
yeah, those numbers were exaggerated. Yeah, I agree.
And what that does is, this is why Trump gets the Hitler claims all the time, is he has done everything from calling them murderers, rapists, and criminals, to calling them vermin, to calling them bad, saying they have bad genetics. And he's been working on us for 10 years with this type of anti-immigrant rhetoric. And no matter what, when I talk to MAGA, all I hear is kind of like a belligerent person who's just obsessed with the border. And every attempt we ever made to fix it that was long lasting, Trump stifled. Trump did stifle a law that we were trying to pass in 2024, right before he got elected, that would have actually stopped immigration in its track. It would have given the ability to the president to actually close the border. And he stopped it. He hasn't passed a law since. Everything he's done is temporary, an executive order, and an egregious overuse of power. And I think we'll have the opposite effect. I think the next Democrat president to come into office will just eliminate ICE. I don't think there's any use for ICE. I think they're problematic. But on the other hand, the way Trump is doing mass deportation is doing nothing but fucking up our economy. Really bad. We could have had free college and possibly fixed all homelessness with the amount of money he's spent on this. And I'm not exaggerating.
I really just didn't believe in the CBP One app. And what that was doing for people and getting them in as fast as they were. Mainly because I believe in them remain in Mexico. I believe if
what does that do? Why is it better for them to why is it better they remain in Mexico?
Personally, I believe that busing people and flying people to these new states that they don't speak the language. Do I believe that illegal immigrants help the economic policies and help food, like agriculture? Yes, I do.
Not just that.
I don't believe that we should. Yeah, right. But I don't believe that we should I don't believe in mass deportation. But I believe in shutting down that app because I believe that it was taken advantage of.
I don't think we have any good hard facts on how that was being taken advantage of. So what that did was it stopped the influx of people coming to the actual border. And if you...
Right, it let them come in multiple different areas.
Yeah, so if you were approved and we did a background check on you and you were in a country like Haiti and there were earthquakes and tons of gang violence and a bad government going on, you should come. You should come. By the way, they can speak English. And they literally saved the economy of Springfield, Ohio. Like, there's nothing bad you can put your finger on that this hurt. In fact, I think that we should bring that right back.
You believe that we should bring the CBP1 app back?
Yes. Why do you want them walking and trekking through the desert and being victims of rape and sex trafficking when they can
I
just
don't.
virtually...
And especially driving along the border and seeing not only water bottles, but knowing that those people right on the border on our side, whether it be in Texas or in Arizona, have to know that that's a possibility and have I don't know if I can say what I can say, but a weapon on them just to protect themselves from what could be crossing into their land. And
I think it's just paranoia.
I personally believe that some of that is paranoia as well. And I don't believe that every illegal is incorrect in coming here and trying to find freedom, because I believe America is the best place on earth. It's amazing what the diversity that we have in the world.
I think that there's a lot of people on the right that would disagree with you. And I think that Trump has given you guys and poisoned the well with the CBP1 app and the whole idea of bringing people here legally. I don't think I still haven't heard like a reason why we should stop doing that, and why you would prefer them to make the journey on foot to maybe even eventually be turned away or raped or killed. That's what Remain in Mexico did. It only affected...
I got a phone call during that and I didn't hear what you were saying. There was, and it just popped up on the screen. I declined it, but I didn't hear the first sentence of what you said.
You're good. What I would say is that the Remain in Mexico was an actual disaster, and if you actually cared about the outcomes and helping these people not become victims of rape and all this other stuff, you would never do Remain in Mexico ever again. Because Remain in Mexico only affected 70,000 people. Out of those 70,000 people, 5,000 of them were victims of rape, sex trafficking, murder. We should let them come in. By the way, 6 months into being here, they have a work permit and they start contributing immediately. Like, why wouldn't we want that?
Why wouldn't we want them to work? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, come in, be productive, help yourself, feed yourself, instead of creating a literal humanitarian crisis outside of our gate. Like, that is dystopian as fuck. If you were to see it, it was so bad.
Did Biden himself, I know he suspended the program, but didn't he reinstate it towards the end of his term?
No, he did something that was challenged by the ACLU. I don't know if it was struck down, but Remain in Mexico simply said that if you weren't a Mexican national, you had to remain in Mexico while seeking asylum. Mexicans could come all the way through because you can't make someone stay in the country they're seeking asylum from while they're seeking asylum. So it wasn't that, but it didn't help anybody. Like, the Mexican government said they'll never do that again. It was just a disaster. Like, why not let them come in, work, partake in our economy? Every single bit of economic data says that migrants, even undocumented, contribute positively, like egregiously positively to our economy, to the tunes of trillions each year. $1.1 trillion GDP every year from undocumented.
From undocumented immigrants. Yeah, and being from the South, I think I've experienced it. And I feel like I'm personally good at is talking to those people and making friends and with those people and letting them know that I believe that they're here for a purpose, and I don't believe that they should be. I don't believe that undocumented immigrants should commit violent crimes or anything else like that, and that we are accepting of them here.
If you saw the numbers, and this is why Trump gets a lot of Hitler accusations, is he's lying about the crime rates of undocumented blatantly. Even you can fact check this on his own website right now. The true crime rates of undocumented migrants over the last 10 years. virtually non-existent. Virtually. If you erased every single crime all of them did in the last 10, 20 years, it would reduce crime rate by exactly 0.000%.
Well, personally, I got hit by a Swahilian refugee, not a Mexican refugee, but a Swahilian refugee who couldn't read a stop sign.
Stop signs are red. You don't need to read them.
You're right. However, as I'm getting pulled out of the car by, at the time, my photography teacher, the person who I was hit by, who had just dropped her kids off at daycare, let me be clear, who was doing a good thing and then going to work afterwards, couldn't read the stop sign and didn't think of it, who also didn't have insurance on the car, and I was liable to pay a lot of damages afterwards.
It's also a product of Republican legislation and ideology. In a lot of blue states, you can obtain a driver's license as an undocumented migrant, meaning you would have to pass a
Yes.
driving test, and
Yes.
also meaning you would be able to get insurance. And it reduced hit and runs by milestones when they did that in these states.
Yeah.
So,
She stopped. She didn't go anywhere.
I mean, I've been a victim of a hit and run by an undocumented migrant, and since this has become popular.
Since what has become popular?
Since I was hit by a hit and run, I was like 10.
Right. What has become popular? Sorry.
Allowing
Not
states allowing undocumented migrants to have driver's license.
Yeah, and I think they should be allowed driver's license. I just also think that they should have insurance on the vehicle to where I'm not forced to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, and that's, you have to have a license to get insurance.
Yeah, and she had a license, but she didn't have insurance.
So again, like, if you Americans do this too every day, right? They do uninsured wrecks all the time.
Right.
And I think that the Trump administration or the very far right has focused on trying to bring out the detail that some of these crimes or accidents were committed by people with undocumented status. There's no actual correlation or causal relation between being undocumented and being a criminal. There's a 2.5 times less likely if you are undocumented to be a violent criminal. Last year, the number of murders they did was 29 murders out of 17,000. And supposedly, if you ask Trump, there's 30 million of them here. That's the safest population of people on Earth. And if we could double that and only have 29 more murders, our crime rates would literally just plummet. It would just plummet. We would be in safer society for it. We'd have a better economy for it. There's literally no negatives besides people crying every once in a while that they figure out someone who did a bad thing might have been undocumented.
Yeah, and I don't believe that we were busing, what's the terminology? Criminals from the jails and everything else. I don't believe that we were busing those over and flying those over as much as he said we were.
There's no evidence of that, actually. They asked the Trump administration or his campaign, actually, because he said it when he was running. They asked his campaign for the proof. They had no response.
I believe that he speaks in hyperboles a lot.
He lies. He lies. He exaggerates. And same thing that Hitler did. Same thing that Hitler did. You can't just minimize it. Hitler lied about Jewish crime rate. He lied about how they affected the economy. He lied about how many of them there were. He lied about the conspiracies about how Germany lost World War I. All of it lies. And Trump is doing the same thing to enact his political agenda, which is like a level 17 response to a level 1 problem, in my opinion. And he's putting him in cages. He's sending him to prisons in El Salvador that are meant for terrorists, that you get no due process when he sends you. You get yeah. It's nothing but life sentence when you get sent there.
Yeah.
And they had no court date.
A lot of things about it.
Huh?
I've seen a lot of documentaries about that prison and how devastating it is for people to go there and how cruel the conditions are. I think it's terrible. And originally, I believe the people of El Salvador were right in going there with the crime rate that they had and the gang violence problem that they had. But I don't believe that we should be shipping people over to El Salvador in order to go to those prisons whenever they haven't committed the crimes equivalent to what the original people there were for.
If their crimes, if they were 100% guilty of crossing the border with no inspection, that's the law they would have broken. Entry without inspection. It's a $250 fine, dude. Not life in prison. That's what Trump does.
Yeah.
And now we have Trump's handle of the border and immigration have caused our tourism rates to plummet. Our economy is fucked because of it. And not to mention the economic blowback from the mass deportation. So there's a reason we haven't done these huge mass deportation operations because of the way how much they cost. Hundreds of billions of dollars. The economic feedback, hundreds of billions of dollars. The deficit, hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's recurring. And you name it. Our wages fall. Everybody's wages falls, by the way. 100% of the economy's wages fall. There's not a single metric that goes up when you do this. So this is all about feelings. This is all about people being misled and propagandized and pushed on this for 10 years by a madman who paints his face fucking orange.
He paints his face orange?
Yes, he paints it. You haven't seen it?
No, sir, I haven't.
He paints his face orange, man. Come on.
Personally, I haven't seen it. Do I believe that you make some good points? Absolutely. I just think from personal experience and from the things that I saw from Kamala Harris, I felt like I couldn't vote for her because of how I felt like she wasn't transparent enough in her policies and talking to not only media, but as well as anybody else. I don't feel like she gave well enough answers to get my vote from her, as well as the Democratic Party itself in trying to promote her and how fast that she was put into that position. And it was just tough for me to have her get my vote.
Are you somebody to like, if I told you to do like some digging, would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my laptop right in front of me right now.
And you don't have to do it right now, but do you have any idea of, Trump had like 4 big indictments, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what indictment came out of DC?
Do I know what indictment came out of DC?
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. Can I look it up or no?
Sure.
And I just look up what Trump indictment came out of DC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this should just pull up a PDF. You can read the top and see what charges were.
Conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct the official proceedings, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct the official proceedings, and conspiracy against rights is what this says. Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. It says the core allegations were saying that he tried to stay in power despite losing, pressured officials to promote false claims and election fraud, and attempted to disrupt the certification of electoral votes.
I want to sidestep real quick, and I want to keep a bookmark on the DC indictment. But there's the reason you haven't heard of this is intentional. The reason you haven't heard of any of the details of it, the reason you probably didn't hear any details of Kamala's policies or anything, which she had written out in a 92-page PDF. She spoke out on frequently.
I saw the PDF, but I didn't hear her talk about it enough for me to, at the time, vote for her. I wish she would have expressed it verbally rather than just writing it down, because personally, I believe that anybody can write things down and post them on the internet rather than her speaking about it.
She talked about the main points were like building houses, giving women their rights back to abortion, all the stuff.
And I believe that we are medically advanced enough to where if somebody wants an abortion, they should be granted that. Do I personally believe that everybody that wants an abortion should have access to one? No. And I think it becomes a certain timeline when they are allowed to and when they are not. Oh, sorry, you stepped away.
Okay. Anyway, I can still hear you. The reason I bring this up is because Steve Bannon is the one who champions this propaganda machine or tactic that Trump uses, and basically what they do is they just shotgun insane shit into the media. Shotgun lies. They shotgun just crazy shit. They're eating the cats and dogs. They're coming over here. They're raping and murdering people. Like, he will say the most outlandish, bombastic things all the time, right? And that takes our attention off of the meaningful shit they were saying throughout the campaign. Nobody heard anything. When Kamala and Trump did that debate, and she called him out for not even having a plan, and he said, I have concepts of a plan, it's exactly true. He had no plan. And you can read his policy on his website. I can go through it with you. It's embarrassing. It's literally anti-American too. There are things in it that are against constitutional amendments entirely. And
Can
the
I
reason,
pause for just a second? I really need to text the person back that's calling me, and I don't want to stop our conversation if that's okay.
go ahead. It's cool.
Okay.
Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 70K.
I apologize.
You're good. You're good. I appreciate you being chill, man. You've been good.
Yes, sir. I like having conversations with people from all sides of everything.
So, where I'm getting with this is Trump's DC indictment was far more egregious than anything you could spell out with Kamala rising to candidacy. Trump installed fake slates of electors in 7 swing states. He called Speaker of the House in, I believe it was Arizona, and he said, "Hey, those people you have for the elector for the electors, don't worry about them. We've got new electors coming." And he forged and signed these things called letters of ascertainment. Forged entirely, even forged the seal, and sent these into states. And there's nothing but evidence that this would happen. There's people facing court dates right now still that this happened. These people exist. It's undeniable that these extra electors exist. So it's just a fact. It's just a case of whether or not you believe what he did was illegal. It's not whether or not it happened. And it absolutely was illegal. And it was a coup. And the reason he was trying to stop Mike Pence January 6th to delay certification of those votes is because they were trying to fly in those fake electors to certify the vote in the other direction. He literally tried to steal the indictment. He, the day after the election, got Bill Barr to try to make his Department of Justice sign an affidavit saying that the election was stolen and fraud was found, and multiple people quit because they would not sign it.
Can I ask you about January 6th, or is that no?
Sure.
From the information that I've gathered, I know that. So I'm not trying to misspeak right here, but whenever it comes down to who was at fault for that, I feel like I'm confused at who was at fault for that. Can you help figure that out?
Yeah. So, for months and months, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lowell Boebert, the Proud Boys, Patriot Front, they were all organizing this in Discord on Twitter. They had shirts made. They had signs made. They had movements ready. In fact, the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrico Tarrio, got indicted on conspiracy, seditious conspiracy, which is literally being a treasonous fascist pig. He was pardoned by Trump, by the way. These people planned it, and the only excuse I hear from MAGA is that that Nancy Pelosi didn't bring enough National Guard to stop them from acting out. That's all I've ever heard.
Sorry, Nancy Pelosi didn't what?
Apparently, Nancy Pelosi didn't, and this is also not true, but the only excuse I get from MAGA is that Nancy Pelosi didn't summon National Guard to stop them from their own bad behavior.
And that's the information that I feel like I've been aware of.
But that's not, that doesn't mean that January 6th happened because of her, but also she's nowhere in the chain of command. So if you can find me one chart that shows her in the middle of the chain of command for bringing in the National Guard, I would be shocked, but nobody's been able to do it. It's not her job. Trump just now, he's multiple times in the last year and a half has put National Guard in multiple states against the will of those states. So how come he couldn't have done it on J6?
He couldn't have what on J6?
How come Trump could not have summoned National Guard on J6 if he could do it this whole last year and a half to Chicago, to LA, to all of the cities that he's been putting military in DC itself? He's got National Guard right now in DC against the will of the governor, right?
I don't personally know if it's against the will of the governor. I've been to DC a couple times and seen the tomb of the unknown soldier, and it was pretty cool. Sorry, that was off topic. But
he's got them there against the will of those states.
Okay.
He does.
And I'll get to you. I don't know.
So I think this all falls apart. I think when you see Trump agitating people and telling them that they're not going to have a country anymore, I think that does call for extreme action. I think that does get people riled up, and I think that's what he was hoping for, and he watched it. He sat there with a Coke and watched Fox News for 90 minutes and watched it unfold. And when they were chanting to kill Mike Pence, he said Mike Pence needs to do the right thing.
Needs to do the right thing and do what?
Pause certification of the election so that he could steal it.
Can I ask if you believe that there was any fraud in those elections or no?
Not enough to change the outcome of any local or state election. Okay. In the last, I believe since 1982, there's been I believe 300 counts of voter fraud.
Yeah.
That's not enough to change anything.
I agree that 300 accounts wouldn't change anything in the election in 2020. I don't know. Personally, I felt like the day that it was going on, as in the election day, I was confused on why it was dragged on as long as it was. I know that mail-in votes were a little bit harder to count. And I don't know, from the graphs that I saw from it seemed unordinary for how many votes came in for one particular candidate. And that part confused me, and the amount that they came in was
this is what explains that. This is so in most states the law is to count the in-person ballots first, and then you count the mail-in ballots. You would agree that the mail-in ballots mostly came from Democrats, right? Trump discouraged all Republicans with his platform from voting mail-in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when they finished counting the in-person ballots, they counted the mail-in ballots, and those mostly went towards Biden.
Yeah, the way I saw the spike, though, seemed unordinary to me and seemed like something that personally I had never seen before.
Still on a hunch without being adjudicated by a court after being shot down by 61 judges, 17 of which Trump hired. He appointed 17 of them that said no. There was nothing for him to show concretely that would justify, even if it did show that there was election fraud, you don't correct that by committing crimes.
Getting these phone calls, I apologize.
You're good.
but I enjoy the conversation that we're having. I'm not trying to overstep in any possible way. I see your chat kind of flaming me a little bit, but
Sorry.
I appreciate, and I think it's really cool that you have 500 people watching right now, and I applaud you for that. And I think it's cool what you're doing. Um, personally, I think that was just unordinary to me, and it's something that I had never seen before, and um, it was a little bit nerve wracking with the numbers that came in all at once, and it just seemed out of the ordinary. Do I believe that he lost the 2020 election? Absolutely. And I believe that he should say that he lost the 2020 election. I don't believe that he should still be saying that he won it because of fraud, because of the amount of evidence that came out and said that he didn't, and the amount of lack of evidence that is proved in those situations. I'm just saying that it was unordinary for me to see that, but again, whenever Biden was president, I accepted it, and I went about my day just like any other day, and I will still go about my day today and tomorrow as any other day.
I mean, I think it's a point of privilege. It's a point of privilege to say you can go on your day and maybe you might not be affected a lot, but Trump has espoused doubt in our democratic policy, and that's enough for me to say that's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker. It should be for everybody. It should be for everybody, especially without hard proof, especially the day after the election, to just straight up plainly say it was stolen. It was meant to cause outrage. It was not meant to seek the truth. It wasn't meant to rectify the situation. It was meant to cause outrage and cause doubt. And
I agree. Could you do me a favor? Could you mute me for a second while you read chat or your donations or anything else?
Sure. And the other thing that I would bring up is that this is obviously a tenet of fascism. It's the 14th tenet. It's fraudulent elections. For him to constantly espouse that there's a problem and that only he can fix it is one of the most strongest points of fascism you can make. Chat, don't forget to tap the screen. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're almost at 100K. Look me up. Also, if you enjoy my stream and you want to support, become a supporter, become a super fan. It's $10 a month, and it automatically just makes you way awesome. It's one tenet of fascism.
I apologize. I had to use the restroom.
You're good. You're good. So, I don't know. I would argue. Someone in the chat said, "Oh, this is only one tenet of fascism." Trump checks all the tenets of fascism perfectly.
Do I agree that Trump is fascist? That's a tough one.
It's the fact that it's tough is damning.
Is damning to me.
It's damn. Yeah, I mean,
I'm an idiot. Is that?
I'm not saying you're an idiot.
Well, I know, but I was kind of calling myself that. I think.
I think most people under whatever Trump has done, whatever rhetoric they've consumed, are unknowingly possibly just, this fascism is a form of control. It's a form of politics. It doesn't mean you have to outright say, "Oh, I'm fascist." It just means that Trump's style of politics is fascist. He's done everything. I can go down the list, but he absolutely is. And the people who, especially some of the professors who were scholars and taught this, they have fled the country.
They fled the country because of what?
Because Trump is and being elected.
And I don't know how to counteract that point. I don't know how to justify any of that because I personally, like I said earlier, I believe that America is the best, and leaving because one person is in power is almost, I don't want to say absurd because your chat's about to flame me for saying that's absurd. But I don't believe anywhere else gives you the freedom of choice the way America does.
We can. I think this is just a. I think this is just a point of contention for you because you probably just consider yourself like ultra like patriot. You like really love your country, but there's no
I would agree.
list. There's no list that we are on the top of. There's not a single one. Not for economic freedom, not for social mobility, not for safety, not for medical care, not for anything, not for education. We fall short.
Yeah, I just think the freedom to express who you believe that you are is found nowhere else in the world. Do I believe that we need to be at the top of every metric in order to be the top of the world? No, I don't. And do I believe that we should be controlling foreign and overseas countries? I don't. And having a lot of family members and friends in the military and having them prepare to fight overseas is nerve wracking to me. And being put on people's life insurances who have a chance of getting harmed. I don't know if I can say anything else. Of getting harmed overseas in a war that I don't believe that we should be in is scary, and it's really scary to me.
I think that we are slowly degrading whatever like what you just said. So the fact that somebody who is trans now has fewer rights now that Trump is in office. The fact that gay people and also immigrants, people in mass are crying that they don't even have due process because Trump said that once. I think that women not having the right to choose, and despite these anti-abortion laws going into place, abortion rates have done nothing but skyrocketed. They've ruined the economy of most of the states they've been enacted in. Doctors are fleeing those states to the tune of 20% because they don't want to get caught up in some fucking anti-abortion lawsuit. It's been nothing but a disaster.
Can I ask you two questions?
Hmm?
One ties into abortion, and just how long do you think it should be viable for that person to have an abortion without it becoming something else? I don't know what I can say there.
So I value life at I value fuck, I'm losing the word here. I value the ability to deploy consciousness. So I think that as humans, that's what we value. When people make the choice to unplug somebody who's brain dead, you're basically saying, listen, I know their body's here, and that's one thing, but their consciousness is not. They have no ability to deploy consciousness. That person is dead in my eyes. Same thing with a baby, and in the womb or a fetus. At I believe 18 to 23 weeks is when the fetus finally obtains the connectivity in their brain and the parts to experience things, experience pain first and foremost. And if we do something to a fetus to stop its existence before that, I don't think there's an actual harm that I can sympathize with. The being or the life inside is not alive or awake or asleep or dead. It's simply just there, and it's up to the mother to give resources to that fetus. I think that is something you need to consent 100% of the time. So if it's after that viability mark, or if it's after that point where they can develop consciousness, usually that also means that that's a viable pregnancy or a viable abortion. So at 23 weeks, If a mother says, listen, I just don't like being pregnant anymore, I want an abortion, that could result in just a living child. Doesn't mean you have to pull it out and kill it. And that's what a lot of misconception is on the right. When we talk about abortions, it doesn't always mean there's the death of a child. It simply just means the termination of a pregnancy. And in any time where we've tried to legislate exceptions and rules that would make the right happy, it does nothing but what I just said. Doctors are fleeing those states. They don't want some panel of 8 people deciding whether or not a life-saving abortion that they just did was actually life-saving, and they don't want to get caught up in malpractice lawsuit or end up in prison or whatever else like Texas or some other crazy state wants to do with them. So they're just leaving, and these women are experiencing what's called healthcare deserts, and they're having to travel twice as far, pay twice as much to just get regular healthcare, not abortions, pap smears, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's where I feel like I would draw the line at 18 weeks. I think anything over 18 weeks would be, can I say murder or no?
Sure.
I think anything after 18 weeks is a murder of a child. And at that point, I feel like it's detrimental to society with how much that we need the population to grow, that it's just not.
So in every case that we've enacted abortion laws, more abortions occur. So I think it's the opposite. The data shows the opposite. When people become pregnant in a state where abortion is outlawed, they have to make a very quick choice. They know that if complications happen later in the pregnancy, it could be death. It could be death for them, and this is already happening.
It could be death to the mother.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe in self-defense?
Yes, sir.
So, like, if somebody came into your house and told them to leave, even if you invited him in, you think you have the right to defend yourself, even if it means unaliving them?
Yes, sir. I do, and I have a weapon with me to help me do that if need be.
Yeah. So I feel like the mother should have the same right. If somebody is inside of her and she doesn't want to eventually push that out in the form of an 8-pound bowling ball through one of her orifices, I think she should be able to opt out. I think that what we're assigning them when we say you have to keep that child because I care about that child is you're signing them up to do free labor, forced labor, to make their body, go through the most dangerous time in their life. And we are in the developed world. We have the highest maternal mortality rate in the developed world, especially when it comes to Black women. So I think we need to fix that first, because women die more to giving birth than men do overseas fighting wars. And it's not even close.
Really?
Yeah, in the last 20 years, 4,400 people have died in the Middle East. 1,200 mothers die every year giving birth.
And I believe that's one of the cases that abortion should be legal, is in the case of the mother, the incest, and grape. I've seen a couple people say that. I don't know what I can say or not. But anything outside of that, I feel like I have a struggle in my conscience saying that it's okay for that to happen.
And I usually invite a woman up when we talk about this topic. So Nick, Bella, if you want to speak, I'll let you.
Just really quick. So, hi, Brody.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a healthcare provider, first of all. And just to kind of throw things out there, because we do like to qualify things in the way saying, in the health of the mother, or if certain things are at risk, we would allow it. So one of the things that we are encountering, and especially in states like Pickle said, in Texas, primarily, this is a big thing, where, say, I'm just giving you an example. So
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
have you ever heard of a term called anencephaly?
No, ma'am.
So it is during the process of the development of the fetus, or however you would like to name it, the baby's brain does not develop, but it doesn't develop past the part of the very basic necessary structures it needs to survive. So the primal or primary part of the brain to that can maintain the heart, can maintain the organs, everything develops and can be sustained by that part of the brain. So what happens is we have a child without a brain beyond, but there's enough of the brain that is there to maintain the organs, which means this child can be born just fine. It will not survive past, some don't live for a minute, some live for months, some have lived for up to 2 years. So it's also not a threat to the mother because she can give birth without, they can say, she's not at risk. Her life's not at risk, nor is the baby's life at risk. It can be born breathing. Granted, once it's born, it will be, placed on, it's very painful to live like that. So there are many genetic anomalies that we face in healthcare that they don't qualify under this life of the mother or grape or these types of things. So, and places like Texas are not giving credence to this. They're not thinking about this when they write their laws. And these are not laws that are voted on right now. These are laws that have been enacted by a group of men in a state house somewhere.
That's one of the reasons that I feel like I left Texas. I just left Texas these past 2 weeks. And I feel like the right to that is one of the reasons. I feel like we are in a medically advanced country, and that if those people want it, they should be able to access it in a safe way where they do not need to hide from it. My concern is just the reasons why that they are getting those things, and it's the length at which the pregnancy is that they still want it, and it's the uncertainty on, how do I say, I don't know, at that point in the length, I believe anything over 21 weeks, you have, or yeah, 21 weeks, you would have a long enough time to handle that or come up with another option like adoption.
Are you familiar with?
Are in
I'm
line with those things. Sorry, yeah, you go ahead.
Are you familiar with Roe v. Wade?
A little bit, and it giving the states back the choice to whether they want it or they don't.
Before that, though, Roe v. Wade gave states, I guess, people the protection of privacy, and what it said was basically what your preference is basically up to, I think it was 23 weeks, and then states could make their own laws after that. So that's what we had before Trump.
And personally, I believe that we are medically advanced enough to where it shouldn't be as hard to get that medical treatment that they need. I just have, what's the word? I just have doubts on the reasons why these people are getting this treatment.
So here's the thing, Brody, is as a woman, we are not out here, and I'm a mother to 3 daughters as well. There's not a female out here just having second trimester, third trimester ABs just for fun, just because they decide, pregnancy is not what I wished it was. I'm not going to do this anymore. That is not the case. Most elective ABs are happening in the early months, in the early weeks, as soon as they find out. Yes.
It's 90% happen, I believe, before 10 weeks.
Yes.
Like 90%. Like that's, nobody's getting hurt. A child or a fetus doesn't experience it. And not to mention 60% of those are also in a married like household.
Yeah, I think it's like 93% occur within the first 13 weeks. It's just that 1% that occurs after that, 28-week mark
But do you know,
that I'm feeling
so
unconfident in.
what I described to you, the medical situations or the situations to where it is the life of the mother at risk, those are still qualified as ABs. In the statistics, those are still, that's what's coming up in those 28 weeks. Women are not out here having elective ABs late term. I can assure you of that. What you're seeing in statistics, those are medical ABs.
Yeah, I think it's like 90% happen within the first 13 weeks. 8% happen within the second trimester, and less than 1% happen within that third
So-
trimester.
What I would ask you is, does that 1% bother you? Where I am almost certain that every one of those 1% abortions are like super hard, devastating experiences and decisions to make. I don't think anyone's doing that lightheartedly or on a whim. Is that worse, or the 60 or 80,000 rape-related pregnancies that could not be reversed because of this new law? Like, I think that's...
Yeah, I agree that anything that has to do with rape should have a special thing, have a special way to access that.
It's
Not
impossible.
only more frequently, but also easier and faster with less questions about it, because I believe that is so hard for the mother to not only come front and say that happened to her, but also go through that and know that she has a child that will no longer be with her.
What was I going to say?
Well,
Like-
those exceptions are not available.
Yeah,
They're not available in states like Texas.
They're also impossible. So, if, like you said, if you would like to have an exception for everybody who is involved in rape, you would also see a lot of people just saying, "Hey, I was raped," and get an abortion. So, how do we stop those? Then you would have to move to, okay, now it has to be an adjudicated rape. Now it has to be criminally convicted. How long does a rape case take to adjudicate? Years. So they're just going to have a child.
I think that anybody that is convicted of that should be buried underneath the prison, not just be in prison, but should be buried underneath, because women are very, very valuable with everything that they do.
That's the most insane thing too. In Texas, notoriously, we asked Abbott, we're like, "Hey, what about all the rapes?" He goes, "Well, we're going to make sure no rape ever happens again." And then now we have the largest backlog of rape kits sitting in the Capitol than ever before. He is doing less to adjudicate those.
I believe personally that that's wrong. I hold that to such a high standard that it's unfathomable for me to say that somebody isn't medically able to access those. And it's something that I struggle with whenever it comes to this presidency. I think that personally is just something that I struggle with in this presidency, and the reason that these women cannot access that medical care.
Brody, all I can say is if we are as valuable as you say that we are as women, let us make these decisions. Let us have this bodily autonomy and trust that we know what is best for us. Because the situations that we find ourselves, it's not out here having ABs for fun. I assure you
And I
of
don't think
that.
anybody should be having an AB for fun.
They're not.
I believe that that's personally disgusting.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, and I agree with you. Sorry, what's your name?
I'm Nick.
Thank you, Nick, for coming in here and talking about that.
No, thank you, Brody, for listening.
Yes, ma'am. There was one more question that I wanted to ask you about,
Mhm.
if that's okay. And it just comes to transgenderism, and the affirming care that comes to children.
Mhm.
That's another part that is very scary for me.
Okay, this is what I'll say. I think Trump has spent $217 million doing anti-trans ads the last campaign. None of them are critiques of this directly. None of them have any sort of correctional action like, hey, we don't believe, and here's the science that says gender affirming care doesn't work. They don't have anything like that. We have nothing but studies showing that gender affirming care reduces suicidality by 70%. 70. Meaning kids stop killing themselves. So no matter how icky you might think it is, or whatever weird stigma they've attached to it, I challenge you to just look at the science. And none of us on the left, none of us, are just listening to some weird dude who paints his face orange or something to learn about this. We're simply looking at the science. There's no weird like movement that's going around brainwashing us or kids or anything like that. This is something that science has discovered and unveiled and said, hey, people kill themselves because of this, and we've tried a million things. We've tried antipsychotics, antidepressants, we've tried counseling and all this stuff. And this, after years of doing that, still, they say, dang, if we try gender affirming care, this happens. And why wouldn't we keep doing that?
I think that's just really scary for me. And putting puberty blockers into these young men who do not fully know what their body is capable of is something that I believe that all children should be aware of, how capable they are in not only their body, but also in their mind and in their heart as well.
Can you tell me some of the drawbacks of using puberty blockers?
At this time, no. Could I look it up and tell you? Probably. As a coach, it's I don't know. That's a tough one. No, I'll just say no. I can't tell you that
Would you
right
be
now.
willing to consider maybe you just have some icky feelings towards it?
Yeah, I would say that I just have really icky feelings towards it, mainly because I believe that these young men should be confident in their body and not be told that they need to change in order to be more fulfilled in who they are. I don't believe that anybody is born incorrectly to where they need to change their appearance or physical traits
We
to
have science on that. That's not a thing. So we actually do have biological markers that show that people could trend to being trans or heart disease or being left-handed or being gay. These are things that we can see that we've now discovered they can be born trans.
can I ask you about that? Oh, sorry, there's a new person in here.
Yeah, Kit.
Yeah. Hi, Brody. You've
Yes,
been
ma'am.
super respectful, which is the only reason that I'm going to say this. I'm the parent of a trans child. What questions do you have for me?
If I'm being honest, I don't know if I have any questions for you. And just how early that child, I don't know how old your child is, and I don't know if I want you to say how old your child is, but how early did they come and tell you that they were somebody that I personally believe that they're not?
So they didn't have the language for it at the age that they were, because when we look at psychology, gender development happens between 3 to 6 years old, or 3 to 5 years old, excuse me. So with
Yeah.
my kids, I just haven't raised any of them with, telling them what they can or can't wear, what they can or can't play with. And my oldest kiddo just started expressing themselves differently at a very young age. And we just kind of let them do that. And then when they hit about 10, they told us a different name and different pronouns that they wanted to use. And we just said, cool, is your room clean?
Cool, it's your room clean. I
And
like that answer. Sorry.
right.
I
And
apologize. I didn't mean to laugh.
no, you're good. It wasn't, we didn't make it a big deal. We said, okay, cool, this is who you are. We can change that up. We'll work on it. Might mess up here and there, but we're gonna change that because we respect you. We didn't make it a big thing, right? And then they are now 13. And the biggest thing that I want to tell you is that it's not an overnight thing. It's not you go into a doctor and then they go, oh, you feel this way, here's this surgery. There's this thing in the trans community specifically, it's called insistent, consistent, and persistent, which means that your child has to be insistent about their gender identity and living it, consistent about it, and persistent. This is who I am, this is who I am. And these are processes that take years and takes therapy and takes multiple doctors approving and parents' approval. It's not an overnight thing.
I don't think that it's an overnight thing. Can I ask if you put the child in therapy to kind of express these feelings a little bit more?
Yeah, they've had therapy, and that's one of the things that we wanted them to have first. Obviously, we're going to do all of the things to make sure that this is the correct path for them, because no parent wants their child going on a path that's going to make their life harder, right? Like that's the first thing when you hear this rhetoric around, oh, these parents are forcing their kids. No parent is sitting there going, how can my child have the most like villainized existence possible, right? Especially with what's going on right now. You just respect your child. So no parents pushing anybody into this. They're just like, okay, this is who my kiddo is, and I love them no matter what, right? Like, period. Like, if you can't love your kid no matter what, then you shouldn't be a parent.
I
But
completely agree with that. I think my struggle is,
yeah,
I'm only 24, and knowing that
Mhm.
the brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25, and how much kids say outlandish things. I'm not saying that I promise I'm not trying to say that your child is saying outlandish things, and if they truly believe that they are this new person, then they should be able to express themselves in that full capacity. I just have very much a struggle with the age at which, and I ask if they got the full transition, or if they just got uh, just the blockers themselves. I don't know.
just blockers. They don't do that stuff until you're much older. Like, this has to be consistent therapy, consistent doctor's approval. Like, it's just the puberty blockers, and you consistently check in with the kid through therapy, listening to the parents, going to the doctor's appointments.
By the way,
So, like,
Yes, sir.
most of this is reversible, right? So, like, if a child is on puberty blockers, and then they're 18, they come off, boom, go through puberty.
I just, and the science could tell me that I'm completely wrong. I just believe that natural puberty and going through that process, I know it's scary. I struggle with allowing these young kids to get put on the medical care that's, I don't know. It just seems iffy.
I challenge you to open your mind and think about this just like anything else. If you were to give validity to the idea that someone could be gender dysphoria, experiencing gender dysphoria, or simply just being trans, which is a thing. It is a thing. We can see it in science. We can measure it. It does exist. Every country on earth with developed medicine believes this is real. It's not like that's not really up for debate anymore. Now it's just how we treat it. And we've attacked this at all sides. And what I would say is there's a regret rate, right? And that regret rate is what I would look at. If I were to criticize any science, the same, if we were to be fair and not bigoted. And I'm not trying to assign you that, but if we're truly as individuals trying to be as unbigoted as possible, I don't know if that's the right word, we would look at this just like any other surgery, and we would say, what's the regret rate for knee surgery? What's the regret rate for back surgery, or whatever? And all of these things have a much higher regret rate, much higher. So, and they're much more invasive. They're much more life altering. This stuff is literally saving lives at a higher rate too. So the regret rate for this is less than 2%. So I challenge you to find a surgery out there that has a regret rate less than that. I don't think there are many.
Yeah, I've had 2 shoulder surgeries myself. Not to the extent at which I believe that these children are going through.
but it's
No,
not.
yes, ma'am. Sorry.
It's what I want you to. It's okay. I just want you to understand. It's not children. Like the children are going through the puberty blockers. Like that's really it, because it takes years of being on that and still being consistent with your identity before they'll do the bigger things. So 99.9% of these kids hit adult age before any surgeries ever take place.
Yeah. The majority of kids who do get gender affirming care surgery are not even trans. So kids with gynecomastia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally believe that you've given me, and I came in here open-minded. I promise you, I came in here open-minded. I wasn't trying to discredit anything that you were saying. I really came in with questions. And I appreciate these two ladies that came in here and talked as well. And hello, Cloud Cat.
Yeah. Sorry. So I don't mean to dogpile you.
No. You're not dogpiling me. It's just more perspectives and more information. I think that I should let you go to the next one. I don't know how well your day has gone or anything else. I just saw the person before. I clicked the request button to ask questions, and I was accepted almost immediately, which was new to me. And I'm glad that I got to have conversations. I think that I should just let you go to the next guest.
For sure. Okay. Well, thanks for coming up, dude. You're welcome back anytime. All right.
Yeah, appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you, Brody.
Look at that. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'll hop out of here. I don't know how to hop out of here.
I got
kick
you.
me or what?
Yeah, I got you. Cloud, do you want to say something real quick?
Sure. I'm sure Brody's still in here listening. So if it's difficult to kind of understand it from a scientific perspective, I would offer the additional perspective of coming at it from a cultural angle, where teach yourself more about cultures beyond Western white Christian belief and that understanding of gender. Look to Judaism, look to indigenous groups, look to the understanding of gender far back beyond before white people colonized and took over the thought process of how we see gender today. And you will see the deep variance of people that have existed since humanity has arisen. So trans people aren't new. Trans people are just we're deeply misunderstood. We're deeply mischaracterized, and we have been here as long as everybody else. So if taking on the scientific perspective is too hard, which I understand, it's a lot of information. We were all taught the same way. Sex is this, gender is that, very incomplete understandings of biology and education. I get it. Take it from a historical aspect, take it from a cultural aspect, if that's easier. Because all of it together is the bigger picture of what humanity actually is versus what we were all brought up to believe it was. So that's it.
W.
I'll hop in. Good to see you.
Good to see you all. I hope y'all all have awesome nights. Thanks for all helping me out, y'all. I'm gonna get to the next guest. Love you more. Bye. I'm kicking y'all. We're gonna get to the next guest, guys. Don't forget to follow if you enjoy the conversation. We do this all the time. We're gonna get to the next guest, all right? Yellow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter? Kevin? Kelvin? All right. Birdie was chill. We need more guests like that. Yellow?
السلام عليكم يا أخي فهمك أنا من غزال أطفال والله هاي والله الله يكرمك.
Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Chat, I do have a Cash App and Venmo in the bio. If you guys are trying to support me, what's the best way to do it? MAGA, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. What's up, Infectious?
How's it going, brother?
Going good, man.
Just doing a quick mod thing. If you want, tap the screen, share the live, make sure you're doing all the good things. Links in bio also. I came up to say, Morgan, down in the comments, you desperately need to accept that invite. There's been a discussion going on with Morgan for about the last 15, 20 minutes. She definitely needs to come up and have a discussion with either Kit or one of our other reps for the trans community.
Morgan, you're welcome to come up. Morgan has no...
Because I'll be honest, with the crap being said, I was about 5 seconds away from muting her if she didn't come up. That's really all I had to say, man. You keep it running.
For sure. Thanks, man. Morgan, your profile says autism advocate. That is wild. Wild. Yeah. Yeah. My kick donuts roll over. Yes, absolutely, guys. The next person to come up, if you want to kick them, it's only $30. D has already given $10 towards that. I don't know what it. I mean, I get advocating for like autism awareness, but I'm not even saying like that it's phrased weird, but RFK is like waging war on autism. He's spreading misinformation about autism. Like, what's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? She had the puzzle piece in there too, yeah. Morgan is big Tylenol, dude. We know your tricks. She said, we're all brainwashed. I want to know who brainwashed us. Who got all of us to think like this? I want to know that. Big scale-y science? Did we have like an orange messiah on our side coming around saying egregiously bombastic bullshit claims all the time? And that we started believing, or I'm pretty sure that's all on your side, right? Big Education did this. Blues Clues. Radicalized by Human Decency. George Soros, yeah. Yeah, the DNC can't fucking organize a goddamn candidate. You think they're organizing brainwashing in mass? Like, before they brainwashed us on this, wouldn't they just brainwash y'all to not be fucking crazy? I think that would be a better use of their resources. I'm paid by the DNC. I wish, dude. If I was paid by the DNC, dude, I would be bragging about it all day. All day. I'd be wearing fucking brand new kicks. I'd be eating oysters out of the shell right in front of you. I'd be buttering up a lobster while yapping at MAGA. Crocs. I'd have the craziest croc collection known to man. Pick a subject, guys. Trump sucks. That's the subject. Republicans, conservatism, all suck. They don't work. Social wedge issues are the only way Republicans ever get elected. Republicans ruin the economy. They have They don't even have the tools to do good things for the economy. So even if the best Republican ever ran, they would still fuck up the economy. It goes on and on. Republicans love war. Republicans gut safety nets that are like a net positive. Gutting food stamps is the most anti-intellectual stance I've ever heard of. Ever. Ever. I don't think Democrats suck in any sense of the word. There's no metric you could point to. There's no outcome you can point to. I think you have to be hugely uninformed to vote for Republican. And I have no business being popular on the internet. I have no business looking smart because I'm not. I am not that smart, and I feel so smart talking to Republicans. Yellow?
Hello. How are you?
Doing good.
When I said in the chats that I'm a lifelong Democrat and we have sucked lately as well, it does not mean, I hope you don't take it as such, that I will ever vote the other way. It just breaks my heart sometimes what we as a party have become
Sure.
lately as well.
I'll give you that.
And there's nothing wrong with self reflection and looking at the mistakes we've made. We have succumbed too much and we've let too much go, by the way. And we thought that they're just going to ruin themselves. How about we just let it go? Because just like an asshole in the office, you know what I mean, who thinks he knows it all, they're just going to self destruct. And we failed at that because we didn't go after. But you see, when Democrats go after, for some reason, we're supposed to be some grand dame and so poised, you know, when they
Yeah.
call us assholes,
We play
we're
nice.
supposed to do better. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
It is, and by the way, you can drop me. I don't want to talk to myself unless somebody else comes up. What I'm saying is, like I said, a lifelong Democrat and somebody who's really old and somebody who actually does remember what you have, your past, the comments about women's rights. I was there and I marched. I was there in 72.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
My mother called me from Rome saying, "Hey, Kat, I'm pregnant." I'm like, "What do you see out of your window?" She said, "Well, it's the Vatican." I'm saying, "You fucked." She's like, "But in New York," I said, "it's still going to take a couple of years just because." And I have my sister, and she's lovely. But that's not what we're talking about. It is about the right to do what we want to do. And in that particular story, it's not about that it turns out well. Like I said, I love my sister. It's about my mother being stupid, but it's also because she was right there by the Vatican. But it is also the fact of we have our rights, and it is our right, and it's that body autonomy. And it's a thing that I also mentioned in your posts before. I don't know if you saw it. I don't need an excuse. I don't have to tell you that I'm sorry, we have to use the TikTok words, graped. I don't need to give you a reason. It's just because. And yeah, that motherfucker before me said it's ugly when you just can't just decide you just want. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. It's my body. And yes, I can. And I'm sorry it's not pretty. And I'm sorry I don't have to give you a goddamn excuse. And I'm sorry nobody pushed me down in some dirty alley and made me do it. And I'm sorry it wasn't my daddy. It's just, hey, my body.
Yeah.
And it's at the time, and it is my choice. And that is an ugly thing to say these days. And that is what people don't want to hear because we're all supposed to be still ladies, aren't we? And have excuses.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
You want to
definitely
kick
a
me
huge.
off? Is that too much?
No, you're fine. I mean, I am about to let you down, but I feel like you gave us a good nugget of wisdom there. We appreciate you.
It's not about wisdom. It really is, whether you believe it is bodily autonomy or not. And when you talk about gender rights and when you talk about all of it, I am that old. I lost 95% of my friends during AIDS. My aunt was at St. Vincent's. We're in New York. She did not use the gloves because she was in internal medicine and she realized, no, you do not pass it through. She held hands. She did her job. And she did not use a hazmat fucking suit. And we were there. And people don't realize that to lose 95% of my friends, that was over 125 people that I lost. That's what people, and I'm one person. And that is not because it was of just the bats, in New York City. No, it affected all of us. All of us. All of us. And I just meant to say, and when people talk, when my granddaughter ran into my arms and she said, I'm, and I said, I got it. I got you. She said, but, and I said, I got you. She said, but you don't. I said, I knew. I always knew. And I gave her the biggest hug. And I said, we'll work it out together. And she said, I want to be, she was born, her mom died. She wanted to remain a she, but without being a she is asexual. And there's so many lives that we go through in so many years. And I'm in my very, very late 70s. And to live through all of that, to remain a she, but without. All I'm saying is just look what's around you. Look what we have. Look what we've lost and what we still can be. And I am very militant about these things. I just don't want to be right now.
Yeah.
Not right this very second. And yes, I understand that Trump said there was a civilization will be by 8 o'clock Eastern time, but we have 2 more weeks, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
And I am also a Jew, and by the way, to anyone that gives a fuck, happy Passover. And I know a lot of people hate me for being that.
No.
I also served in IDF, and I was there in 63, 73, and all the 3 wars.
Whoa.
And I'm a citizen of the United States. And
Whoa.
I do not apologize. I am what I am. And when people say, what did this country do? This country also liberated my great mother from Buchenwald. You forget this is one life. In one life, in just the last 5 minutes, I've told you what I've lived through.
Yeah.
And anybody go fuck themselves if they do not understand what a life is. A life is a beautiful thing, and you hang on to that. And you, absolutely, I am as, oh, honey, don't fucking cross me. I believe in me and mine. but we change. Not change in some ways that other people think we should, but we live through this. And like I said, in just this one life of what I've just told you, that's a lot of changes and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I am still learning, and I'm still here, and I will always have my arms open. But doesn't mean that I don't forget, and doesn't mean that I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just growled. It's okay. It's fine.
You should start a podcast, honestly.
No,
It sounds like
we're
you have a
not gonna
lot.
start a fucking podcast.
We give you permission if you want to, though.
No, yeah, I don't need your permission. I don't need anybody's permission to do a goddamn thing.
I'm,
But I do
you know
want
what I'm
people
saying.
just to realize that a life is a very long time.
Yeah.
And for goodness sake, don't get me wrong. I so much do some things. And people like Trump, and he is from New York, that piece of fucking shit. By the way, he still owes us money. He never paid for the goddamn contract. And he is a nothing. He is the smallest. A person who is not only accused of sexual assault, but bankruptcy, the illegality of what he has done to the people of his own city, the fact that this piece of garbage has been kicked out of New York, even in New York these days, they don't live by my standards. My standards are a lot higher than what New York has become. They've got Gap on every goddamn thing. My standards are a lot higher, but god damn it, we still do have standards. And I'm telling you, that person is not welcome here.
Well, Catherine, we love you. You just got
No,
community
you don't have to
guidelines.
love me. I'm very difficult to love, and most people don't.
That's all right.
I just wanted to say what I wanted to say. And I wanted you, by the way, the reason why I stuck out, because the way you handled your show, I thought it was actually pretty fucking cool.
Thank you.
I thought you spoke to people, and I thought that was great. I will let you go, and good luck, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
All the
I
love.
appreciate that. Absolutely. You too.
I got a little restricted for that, but it was worth it. Catherine's fucking gangster, dude. She's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was like a roller coaster. Jeez. Blown away. Dude, you meet the... I would not trade this job for anything. This is the fucking coolest thing in the world. Fight me. Dude, when I get old and I have zero fucks, I will... Yeah. Spicy pickles 100,000% of the time. I came in at the IDF part. It's compulsory. Remember that. It's compulsory. You don't have a choice.
Thank you for
What's up,
saying
Claude?
that. I just wanted to make that clarification too. I know that people, they came in or they heard the IDF part. I understand that completely also as a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Yeah, please remember that being a part of the IDF was not a choice. It is 100% you could not escape it, especially with her age. You know, back when she would have done it after high school, it was mandatory, and even until today, it's not as mandatory as it used to be, but it's still kind of frowned upon to an extent if you don't.
Yeah.
But you can now these days, you know, say no, I'm opting not to. I'm going to go to college, whatever it is. But back in her day, absolutely, there was no. That was your life plan. You did high school, you did IDF, and then you went off and did something else.
Mm-hmm.
So just please don't misunderstand her for
Yeah.
having to go through that. She didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So thank you. That was it.
Anytime. Love you.
Bye. Love you too.
Wonder what her weapon of choice is. Guys, I don't want to glamorize the IDF. What's the IDF? Israel's military? Nemo, get your big old wiener up here, dude. What's up, bub?
What's up?
Not much. Yeah. How debates been today?
It's been a weird one. So had a couple debate bros earlier in the night. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. Yeah. What's interesting is seeing the shift again from MAGA being bloodthirsty, let's put heads on pikes, to oh my god, Trump's peacemaker. Woo.
They've had like 3 firmware updates this week. It's wild.
Legit.
It's like, we're there to go save people, those poor women. Now we got to kill all of them for oil. And now Trump's the best ever for giving all of the concessions and getting nothing.
Yeah. Like that ceasefire agreement is...
It's like they're high stepping. You know, they're just stoked.
I was saying, man, like, on the American side, that is a dog shit agreement. On the Iranian side, dude, props to whoever Iran put in charge of handling negotiations. I don't know who they got, but give that guy a raise and like a pony, because damn.
The history books will say, if this ends today, which I don't think it is, I think Israel's going to pop off and fuck it up. If this ends today, the history books will just say, the U.S. lost this war. We lost.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think it's called the Suez Crisis. I think that's the official name of it. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
So in history, once upon a time, I think this was in 1957. Hold on, let me look it up. Hold up. This is relevant to what we're talking about. 1956. Damn.
It's in the Billy Joel song. I love when things have songs.
So I sent you, well, that's the State Department. This is like a Britannica thing on it. Basically, once upon a time, the British owned a certain part of Egypt. I think I don't know if they owned all of Egypt at that moment in time, but British Egypt was absolutely a thing at one point. And they had control of the Suez Canal. So Suez Canal, one of the most important canals on the planet. Y'all remember what was it Evergiven, whatever the fuck it was called? Extremely important to world trade, all that good stuff. Okay. And it was even more important back then. So the British controlled that. 1956. Okay. Now that's important that it was 1956 because some stuff was going on post World War II. The Cold War is basically kicking off, right? And some stuff was happening in Egypt, and the British wanted things to go a certain way, and the Americans did not. And the British said, fuck off, we are the British Empire, because that's how the British had run things up to that point. Like, you have to think about it. 1956, I mean, the Brits were kind of, they had been the head honchos for decades up to that point, right? America had only recently kind of come into this new superpower status at that point. So the British thought that they could continue swinging their junk. They thought, yeah, no, we run the table. And America said, no, the fuck you don't. If you don't agree with us, if you don't comply with what we're saying, we will call in the war debt. Because the British had a ton of war debt with America. Like, America had done all sorts for the British. And so they were indebted to America. And America threatened to call in the debt, which would destroy the UK. It would completely destroy the UK financially. They would go into like a turbo depression if that happened. So when America made that threat, the British said, oh, fuck, never mind. Okay, never mind. We'll just do what you want. And that was the moment. That was the moment in the 20th century when the entire world realized, oh, wait, the British aren't the boss anymore. Like, the British, they up to that point, they had you could make a solid argument they were the bosses of the world from, late 1800s to pretty much that point. They were all over the place, the empire, the sun never sets. I mean, literally, English had become the standard language at that point worldwide. Before that, it was French, or whatever. There was just a lot of influence that the British Empire had, and that was the moment when the world saw that, well, things change. And now America is the one running the table. And the British are just kind of, they're there. America likes them. They're allowed at the table, but it's America's table. And this, the reason that I'm talking about this is because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between this and what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz. So I'm not saying that Iran is going to become like a global superpower. Not saying that.
But they just checked us. They just checked us, and the hierarchy could never be more clear that they're not just like at the bottom and nowhere near it, like everybody thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, like they checked us, and overwhelming military force is not going to do it. Like, we had kind of already seen that with Afghanistan, but yeah, that's not how this works anymore. Iran was able to check us, financially,
Yeah.
Didn't really have to go overboard with military stuff. And China also benefits from this. Like, China, again, is just kind of sitting there off to the side, all quiet. Like,
They kept their head down, and they're still working at warp speed at being better than us every day, while we sit here trudging through mud uphill through Trump's bull fucking shit. They're just killing it. I'm sure they're just killing it.
like it is kind of one of those things where it's kind of like the meme of you and then the guy that your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. Like, it is kind of like that, where
Yeah.
China isn't necessarily like they're not doing anything militarily aggressive outside of maybe Taiwan.
Yeah.
But like they might fuck with ships in the region, like the naval ships. They might buzz pilots, but they're not like invading any countries. They're not doing anything militarily, really.
Yeah. They can just flip a switch in the economy and fuck you up hard.
Exactly. And they're seen as a stable partner. Like, America, the reason why America has the influence that we have is because of a lot of things, but a lot of it just came down to manufacturing capability. We built everything for the world. World War II happens, and then we build this new world. We create the UN, we create NATO, we create all of the different organizations that go under the UN. We construct this world order that every one of us has known since childhood. We've all known this world order.
Mhm.
Like that America's just kind of been there, you know, woo, whatever, the shining city on a hill, all that shit. And I mean, it's starting to crack, you know?
Yeah.
After the Cold War, we were the only superpower, and we kind of let that go to our heads too much. And then we started doing the things that empires do to fall. So, you know, in trying to invade Afghanistan, and then starting a land war in Asia, and racking up insane amounts of debt based on the fact that you are, I guess, the head power, and you have great influence over trade. I'm not saying that China is going to replace us overnight. That's silly. The only time that would potentially happen is if like there was a serious world war type deal. But by the end of the century, China is going to be where we are, or where we were, I should say. And to be clear, I'm not saying I'm not like a China simp. I'm not saying that China is wonderful and it's all hunky dory. No, of course not. No, they have horrible human rights abuses.
Yeah.
That is also true.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's hard to choose. I mean, we can now legitimately talk about the lesser of two evils, though. While like that's happening, and still like the Uyghur Muslim thing, and I'm sure there's more that I don't even know about. We can look at what we're doing as a country to the country of Cuba. We can look at what we're doing. I mean, we are no better. If you just look at the amount of deaths coming out of tax breaks and the energy crisis that Trump has created, that's just as fatal and deadly. That's just as violent, I think.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and draw parallels or like do comparisons, you have to remember that, you know, people like to say that China's been around for, you know, 5,000 years or something, which I mean, I guess, but also not exactly. The China that we know has only existed since the 1950s, right? That's when the revolution happens and the Communist Party takes over, right? So that's when Mao comes in. Okay, so they're only like what 70 years old at that point, if you want to count from there. So what was America doing 70 years into the country? So, what is that, 17, just say 1790 plus 70. So what is that, 1860? We were literally kicking off the Civil War because of chattel slavery, and we were subjugating, we had already caused millions of deaths due to straight up genocide of natives, and would continue to do basically that for all sorts of ethnic groups for years to come after that. So, yeah, I mean, I understand it's absolutely fair to point to Uyghur Muslims, and one thing I didn't know is how is like China and the death penalty, bruh.
What do
If
they
we want to
do?
see some, so the death penalty there is permitted for more than just like unaliving. Like I think that if you get caught doing certain things, you can be put to death. Now,
Mm.
that's one crazy part, but the other crazy part is how they do it. So they do lethal injection, but the place where they do it, they've got it down to a science, a logistical science. Mobile execution vans, those are real. I know it sounds fucking crazy. I swear to God, I know it sounds like some tinfoil hat, like, no, Nemo, you saw a meme or something. No, that's how they do it. They're like these really fancy, like, imagine an ambulance of death. That's what it is. It's hyper advanced vehicle, like an ambulance vehicle, but instead of saving lives, you're taking it. I swear, I'm not. This is not an
This is on Wikipedia. Yeah. Mobile execution vans since 2003. What the fuck?
I think there are images of it. And there's nothing like graphic, but there's like they show them off. Like they'll do. I guess the companies that make them will do ad campaigns to try and get upgrades to it or whatever. Yeah. And now, devil's advocate on that, which, to be clear, I don't agree with that at all. But devil's advocate on that, from their perspective, it's a matter of, well, you have to think about China is fucking huge. It's slightly larger than the US, just by a little bit. And there's a lot of remote villages or remote areas that don't have great infrastructure, right? And so you can't just kind of put like a building in every one of these places for that type of stuff. And also it speeds up the process if you have like a fucking van.
This seems low.
Yeah.
2008, China executed 1,700 people. I mean, it's more than us, but it still just doesn't sound like a lot. With 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Still, I mean,
all sentences complete in under 4 minutes. Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Like it's
37,000 to 75,000 depending on vehicle size for the. Oh, okay. Well, that's not per. Well, I guess they're efficient. Jesus.
Yeah, like from an efficiency standpoint. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. From a human standpoint, it's like, bro, what kind of Hunger Games shit is this? What's going on? But yeah, so again, not saying that that's a good idea. That is an example of fucked up things that China does.
Imagine seeing that rolling down your street. Imagine knowing that's about to take.
Oh yeah,
that's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Damn. Learn
But
something new every day.
Like when it comes to the, I guess, the great game of global trade, and when it comes to like the game of geopolitics and trade and all that good stuff, it you have to kind of put the morality aside. And I'm not saying that as that's a good thing. I'm saying that's how geopolitics works. Morals and ethics are secondary. Geopolitics is about power. And when it comes to the geopolitics, countries will ignore the skeletons in the closet if you're a reliable trade partner. They will.
Yeah. Or if you're pretty much a hostage to their trade.
Yeah. Zilla, I'm saying that this is like political analysis. I'm not saying that I believe this. I'm saying this is the reality of the world.
Yeah.
Dawson, what are y'all victims of now? I'm a victim of that epic line that you just dropped on me. Wow. I will not recover, Dawson. Oh my god.
Jeez, he's got some seriously problematic shit. There's a literal slur in his like first video.
I'm always on here crying. Am I?
Wouldn't that make you vote for us? That's what Trump did to get elected.
That is a good point.
It's that AI country, dude. The fuck? Have I seen the mobile crematoriums from Russia? No. Guys, sometimes all you can do is just point and laugh. These fucking knuckleheads.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I do plan on picking on Trump supporters when this all is done. I'm picking on y'all for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, I'm picking on you mothers forever. Relentlessly, you get picked on for me. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell everyone that I understand when people like when one of these troglodytes comes up and starts screaming slurs or says fucked up shit. I understand why people want to react with wow, you are a horrible person or something like that. That's what they want. They want to get a rise out of you.
But when it's all done, when Trump's not in power, it's real. Like they get angry. Remember the Biden years, dude? They were angry, dude. They were angry. I want that back. It's coming back. It's coming, and I'm gonna pick on you all day. I'm gonna school you. I'm gonna talk down to you like you're 6. I'm gonna give you head pats, and yeah.
Cause like who will carry the flame? Who's doing it? Huh?
Charlie
Who's gonna
Kirk
carry
ain't.
the flame now. like what? JD Vance? Dope with the coat beard?
Did you see them? Okay. Did you fucking see that he's in goddamn Hungary getting Viktor Orban reelected? How do you guys reconcile that, MAGA? Viktor Orban? He's out there giving speeches for Viktor Orban. Do you know who that is? What the fuck is wrong with you guys, dude? They like Viktor? MAGA, do y'all like Viktor Orban? Are you guys fucking insane?
He's really trying to get some street cred with the white nationalists. Jesus.
Oh my god. They don't know who he is? Yeah. They don't know how to read. Chat, for everybody who doesn't get to see my ears all the time, it's my ear. It's my other one. That'll be $30. In this economy, yeah, not for free. Not for free. If you're good at something, those ears are fine. I actually, chat. I'll show y'all something. You see that big scar? I used to have 1-inch gauges, and I got them sewn up.
Oh, dude, that's when you say, "I was in Pennsylvania giving a speech."
I was a stunt actor a couple years ago, a year ago. Yeah, I had 1-inch gauges.
God damn, that is. I remember in high school there were a few of my buddies. They did gauges where most of them stuck at zeros, but there was this one guy. He went all out. Like, holy shit, man.
Here, this is what I look like. It's baby me. Big old gauges.
Damn.
It's my older brother. How'd my last tattoo turn out? All this stuff? I still haven't finished it.
Finally heal?
Thank God. Yeah.
I was worried you were gonna get like gangrene or some shit. It just stayed open.
Oh man, it looked like a fucking burnt pizza. I was so scared. It's not the first time either, dude. And I need to get it finished. I'm not looking forward to it, but I would love to finish my fucking sleeve. Let me see if I can find some older pictures. BB'd up on the radio. How did I get infected like that? I don't know. Is my older brother cool, or did he fall into the... Well, my older brother's MAGA. My whole family's MAGA, besides my mom now. But my mom's a flat earther now.
No way.
Yeah. I'm not joking. Serious as a heart attack.
Did she see the thing where they like all the flat earthers went to Antarctica? Like that was a thing. I mean, I gotta say to the rich dude, I can't remember if he was a billionaire or not, but to whatever rich dude said, "Okay, I'll finance it." Like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, I'll foot the bill. Go to Antarctica. I'll pay for it. And then like did it. Like he literally bought them tickets to it was Argentina, and then like hooked up like all the booking that they would need for it. I mean, that is money spent for the betterment of humanity. Yeah, a bunch of flat earthers went to Antarctica to prove that the Earth was flat, and they did 24-hour live stream, because it was during I think I can't remember if it was summer or I guess it must have been summer, when the sun doesn't set. And so,
Yeah.
24-hour sun, and they had all their little tools to measure whatever the fuck they thought would prove something. Yeah.
I think I was 20 in this picture. There was a time period, I think multiple years, where I wore tie every day. Every single day I wore tie. That's when Pickles accidentally consumed the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, actually, I came up to ask you a question, Nemo.
Bring
Got
it
a
up.
question of curiosity for you. You know more about the overall geopolitical spectrum than I do. Do you think that Trump is going to try to use this ceasefire and pull a Putin? Do the same thing that Putin does with ceasefires? I get this really bad feeling in the back of my head that we're going to be right back into this straight after the midterms. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Israel's just going to fuck it up before any of that.
Plan on how to take the strait before they invade.
Israel is 1,000% the wild card in this, because they are incapable of like Israel's literally like my dog back here, like just the little Pomchi, just like they can't control themselves, so they will definitely violate the ceasefire. I mean, I don't see how the U.S. could really take control of the strait, just because
I don't either.
It's like the geography of it is it's impossible.
Right, you'd have to be inland.
Yeah.
You'd have to be in Iran to be able to actually do anything about it. Because I mean, I know as far as things stand now, I know for a fact that without China's approval, the strait's not opening. It is entirely up to them. 90% of that oil goes to China. It's their yes or no whether that opens or not. And so I don't know, with the similarities in Trump's tactics, I do see some parallels in Putin's tactics. And that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in Trump's case, there's if you can look at it from what is the strategy perspective, and that's going to be, well, maybe this was an attempt to get like a rally around the flag effect. It didn't work, and so he's backing out, but still claiming victory somehow, even though that didn't happen. Also, he could still like claim victory by saying, well, we got rid of the Ayatollah, and just ignore the fact that his son is literally the boss now. And I mean, I guess you there's that angle. The other angle is Trump is ADD as fuck, and I think he got bored. of the Iran thing. I really think he got bored because like he wasn't able to cosplay like some kind of great wartime president, because it's not that simple, and people were pissed off. Nobody was happy about this except for his cultists. So
Right.
I think that he got bored because things weren't I don't know, just it wasn't rolling, it wasn't Desert Storm. I think that's
Right.
probably what
Right.
it is. I think he was probably expecting something kind of like Venezuela and it didn't happen. Or he was expecting something like Desert Storm and that didn't happen for him. And so then he took that personally and has just been kind of saying one thing, shorting the market, making a shit ton of money. Iran literally clocked him on that on Twitter of all places. Like the Iranian prime minister, speaker of the whatever, the speaker of the parliament in Iran, literally said on Twitter, I think it was last week, it was on Sunday, pay attention to what Trump says and then do the opposite. If he says that oh, we're gonna destroy Iran's oil, blah blah blah, then short oil,
Right.
because he's saying that to make the price shoot up, but shorts are in place for that, so they can play that game. Like that's what it is.
If you wanted to make some money right now, just some quick cash, if you had $5,000 just sitting in a bank account somewhere, the first thing I do right now is invest in oil futures at least until Monday or Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
because that's been the pattern so far. He comes out Friday right before the markets close and says, "Yeah, something's great happening. We're doing good," and then the oil prices drop down a little bit, and then Monday or Tuesday morning he loses his fucking shit. We're gonna kill them all, and next thing you know, oil goes right back up and people sell the living shit out of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, that's when Iran clocked him on that, I feel like that made it less fun for him, because I think that he thinks he's clever by doing that.
Right.
And it's just obvious for everyone. And so when Iran literally just said, dude, we know what you're doing, it's very obvious. Just
it's the true Dunning-Kruger.
Exactly. I think that kind of got into his head. So I think that there's the dumb angle that you can look at, and then there's the trying to figure something academic out of the insanity.
By the way, yes, I'm tall.
I'm losing your audio.
Yes, I'm very tall. That's a girl. She's a girl. Her name is Pickles. I named myself after her a long time ago. I'm 6'4".
I don't know about you, Pickles. I can't hear Nemo. What about you? He cut out in the middle of one of his sentences.
Yeah, I heard a weird, almost like a. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. My bad. I that was weird. Yeah, I don't think that Trump is going to pull Putin, because Putin is intelligent. Donald Trump is not.
See, I worry too much that it's not, and I think it's a valid concern to have. It's that Trump really isn't making many decisions on his own. He's got a Heritage Foundation hand firmly planted up his ass, telling him when to say what, and because those are the people, most of the Heritage Foundation folks and most of the people around him are the ones that are making the most off of his policy because they see it coming. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are selling and buying oil futures constantly. They're the ones that are, we've already seen that they're investing in, certain energy companies and things like that. We see that he's playing these markets, but is it him playing the markets, or is it the people behind him telling him, hey, do this, hey, do that? Kushner, Miller. I see Miller with a hand firmly planted up his ass. That's what I'm more afraid of than anything. If we just had to deal with Trump's stupidity, yeah, he can mess some shit up. But in the end result, it's the people that have intelligence behind him that are using his charisma and popularity amongst his crew to fulfill their own desires.
Yeah, if I had to guess, because I mean I do agree that he's easy to influence at this
Yeah.
point because his brain is soup,
Right.
and you just got to do some basic flattery. Like it's not even that difficult at this point.
Placate him a little bit. Yep.
Exactly. I think that Netanyahu probably glazed him for like a month, and then he's like, okay, fine, let's go, do fucking war crimes in Iran.
There's a reason why every single politician or potential politician that wants Trump endorsement, they scream from the rooftop the most like abhorrent, horrible things that are pro-Trump and glaze the absolute fuck out of Trump, and that gets them millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I mean, why wouldn't that apply to BB? Why wouldn't that apply to anybody?
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, best example.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think Hillary Clinton literally called that back in the day. Like, but I think that more than likely what we're going to see as far as, war bullshit, I think this is probably the end for stuff in Iran. I think that we're going to see just a drawdown. More than likely, we're going to see some shit pop off in Cuba.
Right.
I hate the fact that I owe someone $50 because I bet them that after tonight, the dynamic of the war is not going to change in Trump's favor or in anybody's favor. And I think it's obviously happened. I mean, the worst possible outcome for Trump, but I'm still losing the bet. I hate it. Is the dog comes under chat? Yes, she's a Schnauzer Yorkie mix.
So how's she feeling, buds? How's her poops?
She's got good poops, chat. She's got great poops. They're a little green, but I think other than that, she's got solid poops. And she's about ready to go out again. Right?
A little bit green could be those probiotics.
Yeah.
Flushing her system out.
She'll start back up in a week, yeah. Yeah, her poops are good now. She's crying now, so I'm not even gonna be able to focus. I'm probably gonna have to go take her out real quick. I might go ahead and shut her down though. Might shut down the stream. Yes, chat, big shout out to everybody. By the way, big shout out to Kimberly. When I was offline, we weren't even streaming. Kimberly sent me a whopping $100 gosh darn dollars for pickles. So thank you so much. I love you. You're awesome. And thank you for everybody else who supported today. You guys are the best. It really means a lot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, y'all. I think I'm gonna go walk pickles, turn on a movie, and do the thing. Don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to follow me. We will be live again almost every day. I'm working on it, baby. I'm working on it. Chat, I love yous. I will see you guys again soon. Give everyone follow Nico and Infectious, by the way. They also do lives, and they're smarter than me. So.
Everybody have a good night.
Appreciate
All right.
I appreciate the tack.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
Later.
Love yous. Chat, love yous. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.